quality. That's me right there. I try to get. Oh, there go. Turned up. Hey, turned up. You heard? Yo. It's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Y'all already know what it is. Nets fans is the best fans. Should the Brooklyn Nets try to compete next season? That's the title of the show. We're gonna get these rookies, right? But we're gonna need some inside scoring. We're gonna need some. Claude Smith, first one in the chat. Shout out to Claude. He said, with a 3.17 win percentage for the 2024-2025 season and a 2.244 win percentage in 2025-2026 season, they sure as hell try to compete next season, or New York City fans will run their asses back to New Jersey. Funny as hell. Akeem, Benny, real life Nets fan in the chat, moderator and the member of the page. My God, Big Priest in the chat. Beeman Boy, I gotta respect Beeman Boy. Shout out to Beeman Boy. Salute. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Salute. What up, y'all? Now, I just want to give y'all my soliloquy before, y'all agree or disagree. Y'all see the thumbnail. I like Hartenstein. I mean, again, like I said, Hartenstein is somebody that we should try to focus on getting. You know what I'm saying? Hartenstein is somebody that we maybe a Hartenstein-Claxton trade. Is that real? Could that really happen? I don't know. Nas Reed to the Nets because the Nets like playing through the stretch 4. Is that possible? I don't know. But I do know that. Shout out to 78718 The Bridge. Appreciate you, bro. Word. I've been seeing you as a recent on the page, man. I think I'm gonna have to make you a moderator. You being kind of free. I see you frequent in the chat. He said, Claude Smith said the Eastern Conference will be competitive. That's it. No, it's not. Who? Like, I don't look at none of these teams, probably besides Knicks, and say, yo, we got to be ready for them. Orlando, they look like they about to fire their coach. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland in shambles. You know what I mean? Like, who else? Atlanta. These, like, they could be beat. I don't look at these teams like they can't be beat, bro. These teams could be beat. Yes, they can be beat. That's a fact. But that's how I look at the lineup. I got Isaiah Hartenstein, Nas Reed, Michael Porter Jr., Diego Doman, and whoever we draft. I think we could go get Isaiah Hartenstein in a free agency. I think it's a good idea. I know y'all want to draft for Dave Mara. I'm not mad at that. But what are we going to do about the point guard? You know what I'm saying? Nolan Traore, I think he's an excellent backup point guard, man. I don't really want him to start. He reminds me of like a Jose Alvarado, for lack of better words. You know what I mean? Better players to compare to. But he's a good player. Jose Alvarado's a good player. And Nolan Traore a good player. Say what you want, but Nolan Traore coming off the bench, keeping that pace as fast as he is, just keep running like that. Yeah, bro, he's gonna be problematic for defenses. Word. Big Priest said, I ain't mad at it. We gotta figure it out, man. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna have our ideas. I'm here for it. I'm here for all the Nets fans that want to come up on the panel, say how they feel about what's going to make this team better. I just asked y'all to address the title. Should the Brooklyn Nets try to compete next season? And when I mean compete, I don't mean just develop the rookies. I mean go out and get a free agent next to Michael Porter Jr., whether the two of them, I want it to be Isaiah Hartenstein and Nas Reed. Hartenstein because he's an anchor on defense. You got to shoot over him. He's going to contest shots. He's a 7-footer. and his price ain't gonna be crazy because he ain't just win with OKC. Had he won with OKC, then maybe, but we'll see. Yeah, yeah, I know there's a no taking rule, Beaming Boy, but still, you know how they play. They just do whatever they want to do to try to get the players that they want. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's saying to the Nets that, bro, nah, these teams ain't really scary like that, bro. The Knicks look like they might run it back, man. Nobody's scared of the Bucks. Nobody's scared of the Heat. Nobody's scared of the Orlando Magic. Nobody's scared of Detroit. All of these teams that I just mentioned gotta do big, have big fixes before they get into next season for them to compete for an NBA championship, or let alone come out the Eastern Conference. That's the talk of the town for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talking about tonight. You know what I mean? So I care about y'all opinion. You know what I'm saying? How y'all feel about it? But like I said, I got whoever we draft, whether it be Mikael Brown Jr. or Darius Acuff Jr. at the 1, Diego at the 2, MPJ at the 3, Nas Reed at the 4, and Isaiah Hartenstein at the 5. I don't know if Isaiah Hartenstein is, how much they value Isaiah Hartenstein with OKC. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. And Nas Reed is because I like his game. I think he could start. I think he better than Noah Clowney, so he definitely could start on the Brooklyn Nets. And also, I like the fact that he from Jersey. I tend to think that players that from their hometown, they could play around from where they from. I mean, he's not from Brooklyn, but he from Jersey, so it's not far. So he probably got peoples up here, you know what I'm saying, that come to the game, show him support, and you just feel more comfortable playing here. You feel what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna always consider that, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's my take on it, you know what I mean? We gonna see how y'all feel, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna go from there. But yeah, that's me trying to assemble the roster. We definitely gonna go to the Twitter, see what's going on over there. I'm pretty sure they got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see what's going on, see if there are any trade packages, any stuff y'all want to talk about. We could get into all of that. You know what I mean? But I like this lineup. Hopefully we could get it. Shout to Big Priest, man. Thank you for joining the panel, man. Talk to us.
I I've been wondering now agree here. Um but to answer the question that was on your headline, we should and we don't have no choice but to compete.
Right,
Um so how we do that, and I understand what you mean. To me, competing is making a run at the playoffs.
right.
We know we're not a championship contender, but yeah, making moves. But I think if you get a Nas Reed, it'll even work with Claxton if he's still here because of his ability to stretch the floor, so they can play together basically. Because he played together with Rudy, you know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So even if you have, because Claxton's not a shooter or nothing like that, so even if you had them two, that works schematically. So yeah, I like Nas Reed. If you get a Nas Reed with a Darius A. Cuff, you got Darius, you got you got A Cuff, you got Yegor, you got MPJ, um, you got
Either I feel like either way it'll work. You know what I mean? But that's what I again
yeah.
going into
I
what
think
you.
Nas Reed would be the bigger pickup for me because it'll fit in with
Okay.
if you say you draft a kid like A Cuff, who's a good playmaker, can get people clean looks. We know Nas Reed is knocking down open looks. So you got one side of the floor, you got Michael Porter Jr. and the other side you got Nas Reed while A Cuff is breaking shit down in the middle.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? See it, yo, Big Priest. This is what I'm. Somebody like that'll open up the driving kick. that kind of offense, and
Yeah, and you
Jimmy
can still
is
use a guy like Claxton or another center or Dayron. I'll just go with the centers we got here. You can use he can do pick and roll with Claxton or Dayron, and you got those guys splattered around him that are knockdown shooters. So offensively already, that's a much better look.
yeah. Yo, hold on. You got 718 the bridge. He said could Nas Reed guard the perimeter? I don't know per se. I know that he probably took a lot of risks on defense because he had Rudy Gobert, whole man in the paint. But he will have to
He's
be
not great, but he's not bad. He's a normal defender.
right.
He's not a all NBA level defender, but he's not a bad defender because I've seen him guard Jokic and hold his own. So I look at stuff like that.
Okay.
Who is he gonna have to guard? I think he can guard a guy like Cat. He can hold his own against a guy like Cat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to have a free safety guarding the rim, he's big enough, he's strong enough. So if you're putting him on guys like that, I think he'll be fine. We're in the East. Remember, most of all them guys for real is in the West. You know what I'm saying? So Victor, Jokic, who do we have to worry about? Giannis might be in the West next year. We don't know. So as of right now, the only person I see him having to deal with on a regular basis would be Cat. Are we worried about Embiid? Embiid can't even play a whole season. You know what
Right,
I'm
but
saying?
that's
So
what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily trying to get pieces that's just going to compete with the Knicks or the 76ers. It's just the, like looking at the game, seeing how the Nets play. They like running through the stretch four. They like playing that way. You know what I mean? So if they're going to do that and they're going to stick with that offense, then I feel like Nas Reed is somebody. I would say I'm a check, but I think he shoot like in the 38%, something like that. He good
well,
for
that'll be a very big team,
yeah.
right? If you got Nick, and I'm just saying, or even because a lot of people like Dayron better than Nick. So let's say Dayron, uh, um, with Nas Reed, with MPJ, with Yegor, then the A cup being 6'2", 6'3" don't matter that much, right? Because damn that when the whole rest of your team is over 6'8", 6'9", the whole rest of your starting lineup,
Right, but that's
you
what I'm
know.
saying. You get Nas Reed at his height, like you said, 6'9". Then you get I say Hartenstein, the 7 footer. That's a straight solid 7 footer. You good. You got somebody to man the paint. I'm not asking Nas Reed to man the paint. That's why I like this question about 7 with 8 the bridge. Can he guard the perimeter? And if he decent, like I said, between to be honest with you, the personnel on our defense ain't that tough. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to play a lot of disciplined team defense for us to look any bit good. But I don't want to be too long winded. We definitely got Brooker LM on the panel. Talk to us. What you think about the lineup I got in the thumbnail, Brooker LM? You think we could, you know what I mean, finesse that?
Yeah, I don't think none of. I think those guys go back. Um, it would be nice, but I see Hartenstein probably going back to OKC. Nas Reed probably going to stay in Minnesota as long as Ant is there. I feel like nobody's necessarily going to leave Minnesota. Like I think as long as Anthony Edwards is still playing there, they feel like they got a shot. Um,
I don't
so I
know
think
if
Nas Reed
well,
stays.
I think Julius would be the one to go. Actually,
Um,
What you
I
said?
mean
Say that.
probably, but
Okay. You saying you don't know if the trade even happened?
yeah, I don't necessarily know. I think for this team, listen, the East is, I feel, in my opinion, is going to be way better next year. You got upcoming teams coming out. You're about to put AJ DeBosta in the East, and then you're about to put Caleb Wilson in the East. Who I don't think as of now, they're going to reach their trajectories. But I do think in a
we
few
don't know if
years,
Caleb Wilson's gonna be the one though,
yeah, I think the
because
top
I
four is in the
think,
Twan. But
yeah, I
I think he
think
could be
it's
a
either. I
starting
think
role
he
to
could
be
be.
fair.
I think he is a good. Is a good chance he ends up in. Memphis because he more fits the Jaren Jackson mold, the defensive mold, and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Hold,
It
hold,
could
hold on.
be because there. Oh, well, my
No,
bad.
no,
Go
no,
ahead, Reed.
no. I'm listening to y'all, but I'm watching the chat too. And while we talking about Isaiah Hartenstein, Nas Reed, I wanted to ask y'all about Walker Kessler too. I was going to get to that, but they in the chat with it right now. So I want to ask Brooklyn LM, how you feel about Walker Kessler?
Uh, I mean, I guess he'll be a good pickup. I mean, I'm not particularly moved. I mean, I feel like the defense in terms of men in the paint, I feel like he'll be able to do that better than Claxton. But he's
I
not
don't know if he'll be
necessarily a
better.
perimeter guy,
I don't know if he'll be
like
better, but
Claxton. But I mean, if you want to shoot at him, I mean, in terms of trying to sign him, he's a
I think
legit
he's
7 footer.
stronger, and he's still under contract.
No, I think he's a free agent
Yeah,
this
he was
year.
trying to get
But
it.
I'm hearing he's not
Look,
uh
he
he's not
disgruntled,
really
bro.
feeling Utah right now.
Bro, he disgruntled. First and foremost, let me say
But
this.
even if you, but this is the issue with that, Breeze.
Hold on.
Do you really want to? Because I think he's unrestricted, which means that they can match it and it ought to be a trade scenario. I think I'm a double check, but if I got to make a deal with Danny Ainge, I'm not doing this.
All right, so
Uh,
I'm
Right
not
on.
even mad at that. But what I was trying to say was I was watching Walker Kessler when he came out of college. I knew he was somebody that the Nets needed. I knew we needed a center at the time. I was watching him then. And I guess his contract time, and for what it's worth, Laurie Marketing got paid before Walker Kessler. You know what I'm saying? They paid Laurie Marketing before Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler see all of that. So him being this,
Laurie is an all-star, and I
yeah,
think Laurie
I'm
is an all-star.
but what I'm saying is, there's things that Walker Kessler do that the numbers won't show. The contested shots. They were going to go to the rim, but they had to pass it, kick it out for a driving kick so they could take a 3-pointer because Walker Kessler right there. Instead of trying to challenge Walker Kessler, they take a three, which probably is a bad shot, and probably the shot clock favors the defense. Like he do little stuff like that that don't, you feel what I mean, make the stat sheet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But shout to
It's just the surgery with him. Like I think coming off injury, maybe he can be better. But I don't
he
to the
got injured.
roster. I
What
don't.
happened? I didn't know he got injured. What happened?
I think it was something with his ankle or something. I don't know. I forgot the specific injury, but he was out for the whole season. He had to get surgery.
I think it was a shoulder injury. I think it was something
Yeah,
with the knee potentially.
but in terms of the roster, me specifically with the East, I feel being better next year, especially with these guys in the draft coming in. Uh, I don't think I mean, if we got one of those guys, I think it would be fine. But realistically, I think what we should be focusing on is just trying to at least build a roster that's watchable. Like, I don't know if necessarily we are a playoff team next year, but uh, we should be trying to build a roster that has some sort of winnable habits, winnable traits. Like, we should be teaching our guys how to win games next year at this point. Whether that comes in player development or whatever the case may be, cool. But um, I don't know. I just don't see it. I mean, the East 1 through 10, I feel is very valid teams. That's going to be is going to be good. You got Orlando. That's going to probably come back next year. Miami, they always trying to make the playoffs. Uh, Cleveland's probably going to be back depending on what happens. Obviously New York, Boston, Philly. Well, I don't know or if Jalen Brown gets traded or not, but I do think, especially with Halliburton coming back next year, I think the East is going to be way more balanced. Keep in mind, fun fact: 1 through 10 in the Eastern Conference this year, all records finished above 500. There wasn't a team that wasn't below 500 that was in the playoffs, by the way.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I just learned that today.
So, yeah. So, to me, that shows that, yeah, the Eastern Conference is getting up there in terms of teams that's going to be competing in the near future. So, Yeah, for Brooklyn, I just think necessarily I don't think there's really no moves you can really make to get up there rather than just, build winning habits and just build a team that, the Nets fans could watch really. In terms of next year free agency, if you want to make a run at someone in the next free agency, they probably do that. But as of right now, I think we just gotta focus on player development and see what Jordy do with our guys and see the development that happens next year.
Yo, the shot to DANJ. He said Kessler has played 53 teams. I mean, he means 63 games in 2 years, is what he meant to say. Utah signed him for the tank. Tried to drop his value and sign him for cheap. Kessler said, "Nah, I'm done." Dot dot dot. Now I'm saying this is the realest how the business go. This is what I don't really like about the business, but you see that he upset about the tank. Now the reason why I'm making this a whole thing is because players like that got something to prove, right? You sat me in a situation where you didn't need me in because of your own reasons, right? Nefarious tank reasons. You know what I mean? and now he's somebody that feel like he got something to prove. Now, far as the Brooklyn Nets, I don't think they should do anything besides give him a 2-year contract because that's consistent with what the front office of the Brooklyn Nets do. Not to be long winded, shout to John. Um, you always talking big man, Isaiah Hartenstein. You hear me talk about Isaiah Hartenstein. We got Walker Kessler in the mix. How you feel about going forward with the big man for the start of the season for the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, first of all, good to be here. Like, it's good to have options. I think Utah, they're going through some very interesting stuff right now. Like, you heard about the Darren Pearson stuff today. Apparently, he, just like Gates Bailey, didn't want to even do a workout for the Utah Jazz. And now this Walker Kessler stuff, like LM's talking about, like, they're kind of playing with his money right now because he was injured this past year, which was a prove-it year. Kind of bad timing for him. But if you look at Walker Kessler's numbers, like, this really stands out to me. His last 3 years before the injury, he had 620 rebounds, 481 rebounds, and 707 rebounds. That's very solid for a big man. He's like, what, 7'2"? Like, he's got the weight factor. Like, this is definitely a solid young center that you could definitely have as a solid part of your team. So it really comes down to price value. You said a 2-year deal. The Nets obviously would have to pay a pretty penny here, maybe something around the 25 to 30 mil echelon for 2 years. Like, if you could get a center like that, the Nets should definitely take a chance, even if Utah does keep him. Like, we definitely do need a center big man. We've mentioned Hartenstein, a guy who has championship experience, a guy who actually played some physical basketball against Wemby. Like, that's definitely a solid vet we've talked about. So if the Nets can find that guy in the market, I think that's a solid guy to solid big or two to put around these young guards that we have. So I definitely think that should be part of our criteria for the summer. You could find one in the market, or maybe we trade up for a second first and find one in the draft. Like, you really do need a big man right now. The role of the big man is so integral to so many different teams right now. And for us, it's such a weakness right now. So if you can get a Walker Kessler here, you should do it. I mean, if Utah doesn't want to pay him the money they think he should get, if we could slightly raise that offer, the Nets should definitely think about it. So that's definitely something to consider. Lou Dort is definitely a name I'm hearing the Nets could definitely go after as a free agent. He plays physicality. You think he brings that defensive grit we're looking for on a physicality line. So, like, I definitely think that could definitely be a good addition too. So the Nets have some good options to weigh. Like, there's a lot of rumors going around. Nothing's really going to start until the Giannis stuff kind of situates itself. We've heard Miami is that number one team, and then Tyler Hero, does he get rerouted to a third or fourth team? Like, once that gets done, the Nets, I think, are definitely going to make some moves. So if you could address your big man position, definitely do it because that's a huge weakness. But if you could add some solid
Yeah,
vets like a Lou Dort to amp up physicality and defense, you should, because that's what the Nets really need going into next year. Some interior physicality, a solid big, and you need consistent defense. So you could definitely find some good vets to amp that up and help these young guys' confidence go to a different level.
I
yeah.
think our whole issue is um,
Go ahead, Big Three.
after we get hopefully a cup. I think that
Mm-hmm.
fixes a lot of the stuff, especially offensively. Um, I think if we have a competent roster on a big position, as weak as it looks when you don't have a competent lens. So if we add pieces like what they should be doing, given the fact that we have to compete, I think with Daylon and Clax and some of the other guys, Danny Wolf, I think it doesn't look as bad as it has with the lack of competent players, playmakers, et cetera, et cetera. And we need better play calling. I think a lot of this is on coaching as far as how you have used some of these guys or left during. So yeah, if we can get a Nas Reed, I'm all for it. Hartenstein, it depends how much he wants. Um, because if we're paying Hartenstein close to max money, I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah. Yo, hold on. I just wanted to read this comment because I wanted to say something to this. Uh, they say, this Brooklyn be another fly arts 4646 say business wise Nets have to put the best possible product out there. Knicks win puts Nets on a defensive in terms of business and market share. They are investing a lot in Barclays renovation also. Right. Now again, they just returning the favor. Case in point, when we came here and went to the playoffs, like we was finna to win, but we didn't. But we was finna to win. It put them in the same position where they was on defense, like you said, defense in terms of business and market share. For a long time, the Knicks was the only thing going on. We put a fire under their ass when we came here with KD and went to the playoffs. That's real shit. Now that being said, before that, it was quiet. Now I'm only saying that to say to the comment, they just returning the favor. Duly noted. Duly noted. We out here. The draft is next Sunday. You know,
Tuesday.
the Brooklyn Nets do the best possible. I mean Monday. We Brooklyn Nets do the best possible thing. Do the easy thing. Draft Mikael Brown Jr. or Darius Acuff Jr. Don't be confusing. You know you wanted to get a point guard out of Yegor. You did. You got a two guard out of Yegor. Cool. Get your point guard out of Darius Acuff Jr. And he like a super duper Cam Thomas I had. You know, if I like Cam Thomas, I'm gonna love him. That's what I had.
miles ahead of Cam Thomas. I don't know if you saw what
I
Nets game
think he's, yeah, I think you'll love Acuff if you, because he has a much, and no disrespect to Cam Thomas, but just based off what I've seen from him in college, that kid is, yeah, you'll love him. He got the ball handling, and I disagree with y'all again on Yegor. I think Yegor is a good point guard. However, he wasn't allowed to play to his strengths, and that might have been because of the injury. That might have been because of whatever. But I don't think it will hurt playing because of his size. He gives you flexibility to play him at the two. If he was a 6'3" guy as well, then that would have been a wasted pick. You know what I'm saying? If you take Acuff.
I
But
don't
given
know.
the fact that he's 6'8", 6'9", you can play him at the two. That gives you flexibility with how you play him.
Also, Nets game
But Acuff, I would still, but point period, I would still want Acuff, even if Yegor did, because if that's what we were sitting on the board because of his size, Yegor could be Luka Doncic, and I would still want Acuff, given where we're picking. You get what I'm saying?
Nets Kingdom posted a little Acuff interview today where like you get to see kind of like what Acuff's been doing the last few weeks with training, preparing himself. And this guy's like, I kind of marmot Dame a bit after Dame, like because of how clutch of a shooter that he is. But he even said like, I might have a night where I'm dropping 30 or 13 assists. And it's like on the same night, I'm like, I love this kid's confidence. Like this guy, some people could say it's bravado, what have you. If you saw what he did in the tournament in college, like this guy has a fearless mindset that we've been waiting to have in a prospect the last 10 years on this team. And I think you can find solid wings and bigs to surround around somebody like that because he knows how to organize people. Like Prince is saying, we're missing an offensive coordinator. Like Jordy's problem with his system is he always wants to take every shot with like 2 seconds on the clock. You need somebody to drive the ball in the paint, set people up. Like if you don't have that guy, you're not going to have any type of offensive
We
system.
got to be
No,
honest.
but
Our offense is trash.
hold on. No, but what I'm saying is, stay there because I'm with y'all. And all
Mhm.
I'm saying is Darius A. Cup Jr. is not. I think he's not going to touch the paint and not shoot the ball. Like he not Ben Simmons. He gonna find somebody. He gonna jump in the air and pass the ball. No, you're gonna get pass the ball out of Darius A. Cup Jr. He's gonna go to the basket strong, and let's call it what it is. A small guard or playing under the rim is still important if you know how to play through physicality and draw the foul. If you
You
know
know
how
the
to
crazy thing?
hold on. Those are the two things that's essential. If you know how to do that, whether you're a small or big guard, you're a winner. That's a fact. Go ahead, big.
I think
You know the good thing if Mike say he's into the lane and he collapses defense. If MPJ or Jaeger are open on the wing, he will hit them. He's not going to force the ball up in a bad shot type of situation, right?
Yeah.
So if you got a Michael Porter Jr. open on the wing, he will hit him with a pass right in the shooting pocket. That's how.
Also,
That's where when you talk about Cam Thomas and this, that's where the difference lies.
Right.
He
So this
has
is
that kind of playmaking and court vision type of thing
so
because he is a. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm just getting to your point, but I'm just saying in my words, basically, in the interview I seen with Michael Porter Jr., he was saying how he need a point guard to get him open shots. He don't really like taking tough shots, but he said that Jamal, he called him Jamal. He was talking about Jamal Murray. He said he made it easy for him. You know what I'm saying?
and that's what Acuff could do. He can make other people's games easier. And this is the thing that I think Priest had mentioned. Like, some people would say that this guy can't play off ball. He shot 50% from catch and shoot. And if Jaeger could figure out his playmaking, I think Acuff could play off ball with Jaeger. Like, if Jaeger wants to dribble a little bit, take some playmaking responsibilities, Acuff will be all over the court finding his shots because he's not afraid to take those good shots. So, like, Acuff can play off ball, which even makes him even more of a deadly offensive component. It's not just what he could do with the ball in his hands, what he can do without it too, because he's also has a solid wingspan. Like, and I shout out to 718 Bridges says I'm cooking. Like, listen, anytime I put out Acuff content on X, everybody's responding to it because they see the potential in this kid. Like, there's a star status marketability with this young man. Like, he really conducts himself like an 8-year pro. And he's only a rookie. So it's like there's a lot to like about somebody that's ready to go from day one on this team. And I feel like for the Nets, you got to consider that at 6. Listen, Michael Brown, I understand all the positives. He fits Jordy's position and stuff. He can play defense. He's athletic. I understand all those components, but we don't need another cog in the machine type player. We need a guy that says, I'm ready to be the QB from day one and get this team somewhere. That is how important next week's draft is. You cannot just go in another what if or potential anymore. You got to go for definitive right now. And this Acuff puts a lot of boxes.
You know the crazy thing, John? If Acuff was Darren Peterson's height,
right,
he would be taken before Darren Peterson.
He might go
That's
top
how
4.
good he is.
He might go top 4. If he had his height, he might go top 4. And
he would go top 2. He would go top 2.
I think for the Nets in terms
I think he would go if just based off of his play. Hold on, real quick, LM, and then I'm done. Based off of his play and his ability, if he was Darren Peterson's height, he would go before Darren Peterson. He might go because I feel like the measurables would be there. It would be an argument between him and AJ. If you watch this kid play, if he was Darren Peterson's height, and y'all, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I watched this kid play all year.
I definitely think to Brooklyn Butterflies comment, bro. Like the Nets need, I feel like a young star. Like I feel like they need somebody, especially with this quote unquote tangerine run.
So hold
you
on,
don't have to.
No, hold on. Let's stay there. Out of the possibilities that the Nets are talking about, that's Darius Acuff Jr., Mikal Brown Jr., and Ade Mara. Out of all of those 3 players, which I'm asking Brooklyn LM, which player got the most star potential?
I don't know about Mara, But I do think it could be Acuff or I think Mikel too. Like I don't think he's necessarily. This is a guy that was projected top four. Like I just don't. I don't. I'm not against getting Acuff. I think Acuff is what really this Nets fandom needs, especially to Brooklyn Butterflies comment. I don't think you should be focused if you're the Nets front office on trying to win over the city. I think the Knicks pretty much got that. What you should be trying to do as a team, as Sean Marks, what y'all should be trying to do is trying to get players over here or young guys that can, inspire the next generation of fans that will turn into a fan base based on that young player. Now, if we had a top three pick, I would have betted that to be either Darren Peterson or AJ DeBonster. Somebody that you can look at over there, like, yo, we as long as we're building our own fan base, we got a certain star over here that could challenge, best player in New York type vibes. Could that be A Cup? I think so.
Hold
But
on. Brooklyn Ellen, pass it to Leaf because we got Leaf and we got Gary on the panel, and I wanted to pretty much keep that same conversation. Like, out of the three players that we could draft, which player got the most star potential?
I think realistically, I like Mikel. I think Mikel is the best fit, but I think A Cup is the best. If you're looking for the best star option, I think they go A Cup.
So Brooklyn, you got Mikel the best fit for Brooklyn, but you got Acuff, the most star potential. All right.
Yeah, I think he's more marketable.
Why do you think Mikel is the best fit?
I think just because of his well, for Jordy and him, I think it's because of his size, and especially even with Brunson winning I think Brunson's PR for the small guards just went up. But I do think for Mikel, his athleticism, him being 6'5", him being a really good playmaker, and him being able to shoot off, not only off ball, but the potential of shot creation, him being that tall in the league guard, I think for Jordy, if they're in the,
all right, so be
once they're
specific.
looking at it, he fits
That tall is 6'5", right? He's 6'5".
He also takes
He's
a lot
6'5".
of
He's 6'5". He might still be growing. He had a growth spurt. Like he went from 5'11" to 6'5".
No, hold on, seriously. Let me just be open and honest. This is Darius Acuff Jr. versus Mikal Brown Jr. right now. We got 1 week left, fellas. I don't know if y'all know that. We got 1 week. We need to
next week.
You know what I mean? Figure out who 1 and 2 in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Who's the better fit for the Brooklyn Nets? Both great players.
For me, Acuff is my 1, Mikel is my 2.
If you want to Brooklyn Nets identity, because I think that's what we have to figure out.
Hold on. Let Leaf go. Let Leaf go. We ain't hear from Leaf and Gary yet. We gotta go to Leaf and Gary. Leaf, talk to us, man. Y'all can subscribe to Leaf. His handle in the chat. Talk to us, Leaf.
What's the question?
Which player got the most star potential? And I mean, Brooklyn LM brought up fit, so in that too. So that's a 2-part question. Which player got the most star potential that we could draft? Ade Mara, Mikal Brown Jr. or Darius Acuff Jr.
I think Mara's. Mara. I don't see him as no star. I think he got to prove that he could play more than 20-something minutes a game because he only played 23 at Michigan. So like that's like the game don't really suit like his lateral movement and size and anything. But it could be different. It might be a team to take a chance on him. Who knows? In terms of Acuff and in terms of Mikel, I feel like. It depends on whoever gives them the ball, whoever puts the mantle in the ball in their hands first. I think both of their skill sets could translate to the league, and both of them could be stars in their own right. They could both traject at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I think Mikel would be closer to Tyrese Halliburton, and obviously. People are saying Acuff could be closer to Brunson. I feel like Mikel could be closer to Halliburton or way quicker than Acuff could be quicker to Brunson. The reason being is because it's just a lot of things that got to go right when you that type of guard. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of roster reconstruction and things like that. So I think Mikal would have the ability to go on a team and they just improve that team right away. It wouldn't be as drastic, but just going off the case of like how close he is to Halliburton. When Halliburton got to the Pacers, they almost improved that like almost drastically. Like I mean, the first
But
season.
hold on. What about what DANJ said? He said Brunson got everybody looking at A Cup like he the next coming. Yo, chat, please participate in the poll. You know what I mean? Let us know, man. We got 7 more days and 26 hours, like something like that. You know what I mean? So, but what you think about what he said? I mean, let's call it what it is. Everybody know that the NBA is a copycat league.
I was just gonna say that it's a copycat league. If
Talk to us.
San Antonio would have won, everybody
man.
would say can take Mara.
I would say like if that was the case, bro, like then it wouldn't. Then if the NBA was really a copycat league, like in terms of what's going on right now, what I say is the NBA is like your flow gets older every 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because if it really was a copycat league, then the same type of teams will be winning championships the last 8 years, and that's not the case. It's different teams winning every single year. It's different teams going to the finals every single year. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, that's not really the case. What's really the case is that you have to find out what fits you. And the second that teams like us start thinking unconventional and start thinking outside of the box in terms of the skill sets that could fit around certain players that we already have and how to make those skill sets thrive, then that's when we're going to be successful. And a lot of the other teams ain't gonna know what to do because they never really seen the shit before. They seen it before, but they seen it in variations. Maybe they seen what Mikal can do at the 2, and then the next thing 4 years down the line you might see it at the 4. Mm-hmm. or vice versa, or you might see that the 3. Who knows, bro? Like that's how the league is.
This is the part where 2 things can be true. DANJ said Golden State went small, the league went small.
That's not true.
Because the Houston Rockets went small. Ain't no smaller than the Houston Rockets.
I mean, well, you gotta look at the team that beat Golden State at their height. That Toronto Raptors team that beat them. That wasn't a small team. They had Ibaka, they had a Siakam, they had Marc Gasol, they had Kawhi, they had big guards. They did have OG on that team. OG just wasn't there for the playoff run. They had a lot of big tall guards and wings and 4s and 5s. So realistically, that's not necessarily true. Like you got to run what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? When Giannis ran it, bro, like they had big wings and big and a stretch 5 and Brook Lopez. You know what I'm saying? And then the Warriors won it again with their program. And then when the Lakers did what they did in the bubble, they had who they had? They had JaVale, they had AD, they had Dwight, they had LeBron running point.
Just big. That was all big.
Yeah, that was all big liners. So we can't say the league went small. The league went small, but we got to look at the teams that were actually winning.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that's really the common denominator. Like if we look at all at last 8 champions, none of those teams is the same.
So hold on. I want you to kind of segue this to Gary because he's on the panel and Austin Ashton is on the panel too. But we're gonna go to Gary first. But I want you to just get into the panel. I asked which player is the better fit for the Brooklyn Nets. Now the star power, but I wanted to ask this. I thought this was more important. And they picked Mikal Brown Jr. I mean, more people could answer, but the people that did answer, the fans that did answer, they got 3. Mikal Brown Jr. So how you feel about that? Then kind of pass that to Gary.
I mean, everyone likes Mikal Brown.
I'll pass it to Gary in a second. My bad, Gary.
My bad.
What I would say to that is that you want the type of player that's willing to instill in the other players and the player staff. Not saying that's not Acuff, but you want that type of player that's willing to do whatever it takes to win at any cost. And that's not saying that's not Darius Acuff. It's just that Mikal Brown just has. It just has more of a Halliburton feel to where everything is going to get better right away, and everybody's going to eat right away, and everybody's going to get more confidence right away. So
It could be true with Acuff, though, Leaf, respectfully. Same thing could be true with Acuff, not just Michael.
All right, so hold on. Let's go to Gary. Gary, what you think about what the chat said, man? Mikal Brown Jr. over Ade Mara and Darius Acuff Jr.?
I don't want nothing to do with Ade Mara. That I'm probably only one old enough here to remember when the Nets drafted a project at center named Yinka Dare. He was the worst player ever. He's probably the worst basketball player ever. And then we don't need to do that. Like we don't need to push it. Like
why did you bring up Yinka Dare, bro? Why'd you do that?
It was back-to-back years.
You could have hold up, no, Gary. You could have brought up Ed O'Bannon or somebody, bro. Why'd you bring up him?
I just said O'Bannon. But I thought O'Bannon was gonna be. O'Bannon was so good in college. Like he was one of the best college players.
So
he ever
was his
saw.
brother,
and he was so bad with the Nets. Charles O'Bannon. Charles O'Bannon. He got drafted like 2 years later. Yeah, they won a national championship with two of them with Tyus Edney.
I used to like Tyus Edney, man. Shout out to Tyus Edney, man.
Tyus Edney can ball. Yeah. I'm taking Acuff. I understand why they would say Brown.
Tyus Edney was TJ Ford reincarnated.
Go ahead, talk to us. Why would you pick Acuff? Chat, y'all listening? Talk to him, Gary. Why would you pick Acuff?
Well, he's a real two-way point guard. He can handle the point. He can dime you up. He's got vision, and he can also score 25 at will. Like I watch Acuff. I'm a Texas fan, so I watch a lot of SEC basketball. So I watch Acuff more than the other guys. But I've always wanted Acuff. Like that is an impact player. I know he's small and whatever, but Acuff could go in and be 20 and 10 in the NBA. All right, so
I'm glad you said that.
He can do that as a rookie. He can do that as a rookie. He can be 20.
Hold on, Big Priest, because I never knew that. I never knew he followed Acuff for that long. So we're gonna really get into that. We're gonna slow it down. Shout to Gary. Before we do, shout your podcast out, please. It's 39 people watching. Please subscribe to the page, become members of the page. It's only $1. Holla. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only asking Gary to shout your page out before we go further, please.
It's BK Nothing But Nets. We go live a couple days a week. We're going to be live for the draft. We're going to do another mock draft on Thursday night at I think 8:00. So check that out.
All right. So, but yeah, I was listening. Go ahead.
Acuff is a legit two-way.
No! I wanted to Gary. The one thing I wanted to ask you is because to me he snuck up to get to 6. I didn't hear a lot about him until he was actually hooping. Like, what? How did that happen? Like, was he projected to be a top 10 player? Like,
there were other guys I think that fell. Like Nate Ahmet was a guy that a lot of people liked. Like there were other guys. Brown was another guy that was ready. And like if they take Brown, I'm not going to be mad. Ade Mara is the guy that shot up the chart. So like there are other guys that shot up the chart and stuff. But like if you watch Acuff, there's nothing not to like about his game other than he's 6'2". Like that's going to be the only knock on him is his size. And it's like, yeah, he's fast. He can defend the point guard.
What about defensively, Gary?
I said if Darius Acuff was 6'6" like Darren Peterson, he would be going 1 or 2 in this draft.
But he not, Priest.
Is that accurate?
All right, so hold on. Let me ask you this.
If shit, bro, he not.
Hold on. Let me ask Gary.
I think the combine showed he's closer to Ant's height than he is.
But hold on, Brooklyn Ellen.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold on, because that's my
next. That's true.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Ant's
6'4".
Yeah, and Brunson's like 6'1", bro.
Brunson is 6'2".
Hold on, let me
and so is Acuff is 6'2" as well. Like
Acuff is 6'3" in shoes.
Hold on.
Yeah, Acuff is closer to 6'3".
Let me ask you this real quick, bro. What is the gap between the defense of Acuff Jr. and Mikal Brown Jr.?
It's a large gap.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
I watched that nigga all year. No, it is not.
Brown can be a really good defensive player. Like Brown could be a guy.
I have not seen
that
A
can
Cup
I
go
watched
chase
him
down
at
no nigga.
Louisville. It is not that
A-Cup
much of a
obviously
I
can't
have
be
not
that guy.
seen A Cup hawk a nigga down, bro.
Please, we're
No,
not
it's
gonna start running
it's a
close
big
narratives.
difference. I agree with Ellen. It's a big difference between him and Flemings
Mhm.
and
Very big
Flemings.
difference.
It's so
All right, so
it's so
hold on.
it's such that people forget that.
What I want to say is I got a 3-part question. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to let all y'all answer. We're going to start with Ashton first because we haven't heard from him. Shout out to him. Shout out to Gary. Y'all already know where to subscribe to him at. Shout out to Leaf. Shout out to Brooklyn LM. Shout out to Big Priest. And shout out to everything Brooklyn Nets John. Shout out to the chat. I just wanted to slow it down to actually kind of break down these plays in 3 different ways. The star potential in Mikal Brown Jr. or Darius Acuff Jr., the gap between the offense between Mikal Brown Jr. and Darius Acuff Jr. and the gap between the defense, which is a larger gap? Is the gap on the offense larger for Darius Acuff Jr. on offense, and for defense is way larger for Mikal Brown Jr. on defense? Like, and what is more important to the Brooklyn Nets? Which one of their star potential is more important to the Brooklyn Nets? Like, we got 6 more days, 23 hours and 22 minutes. We're gonna find out what's going on.
I'll answer it like this. And then somebody else can, do their opinion. What you call it? Acuff is one of the 2 or 3 best offensive players in this whole class.
Okay.
So
2. So he only in front. Who the only person in front of him?
I said 2 or 3.
It might be
I said 2 or 3.
It might be AJ Peterson and then Acuff for me.
So he's a better offensive player than Boozer and Caleb Wilson.
Yes,
he's a better scorer
offensive
than
player.
for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Because offensively, he's the best playmaker in the class. There's no questions about that. He's the best playmaker in the class. Right? Anybody arguing that against that?
They're similar to me. They're not.
I think
they're
Mikal is a clear second, but I will give it to Acuff.
Hold on, Ashton. He arguing it. Go ahead, Ashton. What you said?
Yeah, like my thing is when we talk about their playmaking, everybody goes with the assists, which that's a terrible way to talk about playmaking. It's because
that's not what I was talking about, though.
Well, I'm not talking about. I was just talking about in general. People talk about because he averaged more assists. That's his usage rate is way higher. I've seen Mikal Brown Jr. be one of the better playmakers in this draft and even in the past couple of drafts. I think that he could do literally everything that you could ask for day one. The only thing he struggles with in playmaking is transition-wise. He needs to keep his head up. That's the only thing I have a problem with his playmaking. Other than that, he can make pigeon passes, everything that you want in a young guard. He has it. And the off ball, he's just as good off ball as on ball. That's why I said I think he's the best fit for the Brooklyn Nets, personally.
I just think his problem is
I think playmaking goes with shot.
Who? Who you said the best for the Brooklyn Nets?
Mikal Brown Jr.
All right, cool. So I'm just doing the count. All right, so Mikal Brown. All right, this is what it is. Word.
Mikal got the athletic ability, bro, of Jalen Green.
So that's real shit, bro. When we get down to the nitty gritty, Mikal Brown Jr. over Darius Acuff Jr., I never knew it.
See, I don't think he's a better player than Darius Acuff currently.
No, we win with both players, though, right? We win with both.
Yeah, but the thing is, I also look at it too. Is you had drafted 5 rookies in previous drafts. I know you don't look for. I know people don't look for normally fit, but when you have 5 young players already on your team, the next draft pick has to, I would assume, fit. It is a thing that you would think has to matter for it as well, in my mind. And with Darius Acuff, you have to build this team a certain way. With them small guards, you need athletic wings that can space the floor. You need a stretch 5 that can help them out. Or if you talk about with Curry, you need one of the best defenders you've seen in our lifetime recently. You're going to need another great shooter all around them. Like, it's very hard to win with those guys because you got to build the roster a certain way. The current guys on your roster, I don't think you have any of those pieces yet to build with Darius Acuff. So if you're trying to win today, it don't make sense to me to draft them unless you're gutting the roster.
Can I
I don't
respond
think
to
we're
that?
trying to. I don't think the Nets is trying to win today. That's why I feel like you don't. You either if you draft Mikal or you draft Acuff, it's still going to be a process. Even if you get Mikal Brown
I
Jr.,
understand
there's
that, but
not a roster fit around him either.
I
You still
understand
gonna
that,
have to
but
build a
I'm
roster
saying,
around
in
Mikal
general.
too.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general because I've heard from not saying yeah, I'm just saying majority in this not people that come up in this panel that they're trying to win. Y'all don't own y'all draft pick next year. Y'all are trying to compete at least.
Yeah, we
y'all trying to
Win
make
and compete. I think is two different things.
that's what I'm saying. Compete. So if you're trying to compete, it's very hard to compete with a smaller guard with a roster incomplete like this.
But this isn't. We all know that this isn't a complete roster. So when you're talking about the best fit, when you I mean, we watch a lot of Brooklyn Nets basketball.
Right.
We were one of the worst offensive teams in the league last year, especially after. And I'm gonna after we got rid of Cam Thomas. Offensively, we were one of the worst teams, right? So if you're talking about what we're trying to do now is, I mean, we're trying to get good players that work. So if a guy like Acuff, who I believe, in the gap, I think we overstate that how big of a gap it is, or understate how big of a gap it is offensively between those players. When you're talking about Acuff and Mikal Brown, I watched Louisville, watched ACC basketball. To me, it is because it's not just the ability to score; it's the efficiency. It's the shot creation and what I saw him do in the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
It's a lot that he does on the court intricately because of his ball handling, because of the way he's able to get to wherever he wants to get on the court, because of the shot selection, the shot IQ. All of that to me goes into playmaking. He's not just a shot jacker, right?
Hold on, y'all. I wanted to get to this comment real quick. 718 the bridge. I gotta make him a moderator. He been dope in the chat. He said when MPJ went down, we were struggling to get a basket. If players get injured, who Mikal passing the ball to? But if that's Acuff, we know we could count on him for buckets right now. That's tough. That
it is. But also, I think I'll say is when y'all talk about his offense, y'all right. He is one of the top 3 offensive players in this draft. But you also got to understand when you go look into it, he's also one of the worst defenders in this draft too, and in NCAA history. Now I'm not saying he's a bad defender, but I'm saying with the stat wise said, he's one of the worst defenders that they have ever seen.
Listen. Let me say this here. If he has a really bad rookie season on the defensive side, then maybe you have to put a lot extra around the guy. But I will say this: people don't take this into account. When he had those big numbers in the tournament, he was playing on an injured ankle. Like, to put the numbers he did and the assists while being injured, that's what spoke volumes to me. Like, really was like, wow, that's like Brooklyn Grew right there. A guy who could just stay out, recover, rest injury, not play under the big spotlight. He put himself under the big spotlight and delivered. It's like you need a guy with that uber confidence. But I would say this: what he has over Mikal Brown right now, I think his playmaking is more mature. Somebody just put up that Mikal tries to do the Hollywood pass whatnot. I've heard about that his playmaking does need some work. His shot selection does need some work. So I feel like Acuff, I think, is a little bit ahead of the curve on the offensive dynamics, whereas Mikal has the prototype body more so than Acuff. So you could go with the guy you think has the prototype body you can develop over time, or you go with the guy that's really kind of set in what he can deliver on the court and try to build from there. You made a good point, Ash. You have to get some solid wings and a big to compliment him. You know what? We can get rid of this whole front court right now if we get Acuff. If you ask me, an MPJ, Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton front court is not getting the Nets anywhere anytime soon. We just saw it this past season. So if you have to get a few wings and get a new center per own Acuff, so be it. But that's going to force this incompetent GM we have to make real decisions, because we do need a solid front court. That's where there's been a shift right now with past championship teams, is their front courts are very electric. We don't even have a front court to compete against G League teams right now. So you have to get a dynamic front court if you go after an Acuff. But just like what Priest is saying, this guy knows how to create well for others. He knows how to take those big shots when he needs to. and he knows how to play off ball. Like we've been missing for the last 10 years that real prospect that not only has that elite confidence, but he can back it up. And I feel like that's what's drawn the Brooklyn base to this guy. Yes, they know there's weaknesses with height and defense. Got a solid wingspan, though. You're going to have to move a lot of pieces of this team to compensate for that. But you know what? It's not a bad thing.
I think.
But hold on. I just want to ask this. Just going further. Gary, you're on mute, Gary.
The defense isn't bad. Like, don't think you're getting him and you're getting Brunson or Cam Thomas. He's not a bad defensive player. He's not bad.
That's what they're making it seem like, and that's why I'm trying to smash that narrative. When you look at, and this is another thing too, right? If you looked at John Wall defensively in college, people would have said he's a bad defender. Mm-hmm. If you looked at even a step further, Derrick Rose in college, people would have said he's a bad defender. When you get into these NBA locker rooms with these NBA coaches, and everybody is telling me how good of a coach Jordan is, especially defensively. That's one of the things Breezy has harped on for all this time. So I feel like you can, with his measurables at that position, yeah, if he's guarding Joker, he's gonna get cooked. But defense is about effort. So if he's playing against, and we always talk about size, I think Mikael Brown can be a bust in the NBA. I know that A-Cup offensively, will not be a bust.
Okay, respectfully. See, this is another thing that I'm not gonna hold you. The chat had me gone. I'm listening. I'm like, yo, Mikael Brown Jr. But then at the end with that comment, that shit was tough because at the end of the day, yeah, I seen the catch and shoot players don't know who's on first. Like they don't know who's supposed to shoot the ball because they don't know how to dribble the ball. But somebody who, you know what I'm saying, not looking for the pass first, that's gonna try to be a bucket. Yeah, we need that. Like for instance, y'all want to talk about Brunson? They won that game because he had 45 points, not because he had 45 assists. He had 45 points. You're gonna need somebody.
And let's be honest, Bree. Some of these teams are dumb. They could have. You didn't even see the Spurs attack Brunson defensively. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we talk about defense. Brunson was not getting picked on. Some teams are stupid.
Right, and he has a high.
I ain't gonna lie. Dylan Harper was attacking Brunson.
Dylan Harper was attacking him, but it didn't.
No, Dylan Harper was attacking everybody. It wasn't Dylan Harper was attacking Brunson.
That's true.
Dylan Harper wasn't calling for no screen to get Brunson on him. I watched every game because I root vehemently against the Knicks. Dylan Harper was not asking for no screen to get people off of him. If OG was in front of him, he was getting that OG.
Allowing it either, bro. Like that's the whole difference. That like a lot of the times where they was trying to switch Brunson onto the ball handler, they couldn't, bro. Like the real common denominator, bro, is that when you got pieces around to hide like that, and then they not forcing the switch, bro. Like and they like you're not forcing this switch on Brunson. You're not forcing this switch on Steph. Those type of players, just naming them, bro. Like we don't have that type of team, and I don't trust Sean Marks to build that type of team.
Hold on. Let me say this one thing because this is driving me freaking crazy. Everybody says when they don't trust this dude to do. This dude has made mistakes, like every general manager. What's the other guy? Shit. It'll come to me. But
what team?
I've seen this dude put together a team full of people that nobody wanted when we had no assets and made a team that was a playoff team. So I feel like if we get a cuff, right? This dude has been in some of these great organizations. He's seen some of these things. So I'm going to wait and see whether he is going to make the proper move. Because of his moves, not before, but because of his moves, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving wanted to be Brooklyn Nets. Because of his moves, not before. I don't think he's a perfect general manager. I think he's far from it. However, I'm not just going to everything that we say about this dude is negative. We had a lot of shit go wrong.
Yeah, but
Injuries, the city,
hold on. Let me ask
injuries, the city, all that other stuff. So now we put he holds all the cards. The city was against us, right? Because other people could play, Kyrie couldn't play, right? We had all these things go against us. So he traded those players away. And we had to start over. So now we're seeing how that goes.
Yeah.
He's
So
had
hold
10
on.
years
Hold on. I just want to know
in
how much motion Kingston Fleming's got. You got Terrell
No,
Davis talking about
Zero.
Kingston.
I don't really want him.
he's too small.
Zero.
He's too
He got
small.
the same amount of
A-Cup
motion as
A-Cup
Wagler.
cooked that nigga
Zero.
in college too. I ain't gonna hold you.
I think the kid has defensive potential.
Say it again. Say it again. Hello.
A-Cup cooked Flemings in college, by the way. Dropped damn near
A-Cup cooked a
27
lot of
average.
A-Cup cooked a lot of people in college.
Somebody in the chat said.
No, I'm talking about the
Hold on,
specific game, the specific matchup where
I
Fleming
know what you're talking about when they played when Arkansas played Houston. Yeah.
on good efficiency, by the way.
Okay.
I mean, it is what it is. He cooked them too. I'm just saying, like, if you're making an argument for A-Cup, I'm not mad at the argument. If he is a player that I feel, especially now, the Nets fandom would rally behind, just in terms of his demeanor, in terms of his confidence, in terms of the star potential, in terms of the Allen Iverson backing, in terms of he's just that guy.
AI backing him. That's crazy.
Able to
Allen Iverson is backing
rally
his team.
The answer is backing him. So was he the solution?
Cut that
But
shit
hey,
out.
but keep it real.
He
Keep it
ain't
real
AI,
though.
but still.
Cut that shit
Keep it-
out now, bro.
I've said it multiple times. Darius A-Cup is the Brooklyn people's pick. I've talked to multiple Brooklyn fans last few weeks and months, and a lot of them who were against this kid or like thinking about this kid, a lot of them are on the side of this kid because the Brooklyn Nets need an identity, gentlemen. This is what we have to figure out. Who are the Brooklyn Nets going to next? Because all we have right now is the Brooklyn market. That's why I really don't like Sean Marks, because I agree with you, Priest. A few years ago when he just started doing this, he did create something organic. We were the ultimate underdog in the NBA. We were the team nobody wanted to face because we gave our best shot every night. But we made
You talking about when we had Jared Dudley?
No, all those guys, Levert's, the generation guys, that was an ultimate art, but there was an identity there that we can hang our hat on. This team right now, we don't know who the hell we are. If you get an A-Cup, you have an identity right there. And if you get the backcourt star, go get a front court star. Take a Zion on the cheek. Go
Hollis
get a
Jefferson, Richard Hollis Jefferson.
Now that's where I'm not 100% sold on that that right there.
Hold on. Let's have that identity conversation though, John. Just saying we're gonna go around the whole panel, but like out of these players that we could draft out of Mikael Brown Jr. and Darius A-Cup Jr., which one has a Brooklyn identity in your opinion?
I feel like it's A-Cup, man. Just what he did, playing on a bad leg in the tournament, dropping all those buckets, leading his team as far as he could in the tournament. That just spoke volumes to like what I saw in 2018, 2019 when we had that team. Like nobody expected that team to do anything. We made the playoffs in spite of a lot of people, and we beat some top teams. Like that's where I think the Nets could get back to if you get a more established young star in the A-Cup. Then you could get a solid star.
We expect them to make that same magic happen again, bro.
I'm not saying about same magic, but having an identity that everybody can rally around, that's what makes the Brooklyn best reinvested in this. Like Sean Marks has taken away the identity of what made this team fun and exciting. But you get an A-Cup, you kind of have the base not fully back in the door. You have them showing up to see what's going on.
You don't draft.
So Sean Marks, right? You said took away the identity. Did he take away the identity, or did he swing for KD and Kyrie? That swing missed. They added Harden, which I didn't agree with. Whatever, but that's neither here nor there. So he swung for them. That missed. Then he had to reset.
No, but let me just say this.
Now this is the issue that I have with some of the things y'all say. Because I'm not a Sean Marks apologist. I know it sounds like it. But hold on real quick, John. Hold on real quick. We tanked, right? The NBA screwed us. Y'all should be more mad at the NBA than y'all are at Sean Marks.
Not in
But go ahead.
2025. Not in 2025 when we had 5 picks. The NBA didn't fully screw us. He decided to not break that team down to the bare minimum. You still had vets on this team that you could trade weeks and months ago. Me and Gary were doing those shows, and we said, yo, Schroeder, Johnson, why are these guys still on the team? This roster should be down to the bare bones. You have no reason to have the 6th odds or be the 8th or 9th worst team. You got to be the worst team possible to give yourself a shot. He didn't do that. He thought
that is cap. That's cap, John. Because Dallas had worse odds than us, and they got Cooper Flag. So that's cap. That's cap.
No, wait. He underestimated what Jordy could do. When Jordy told him, I'm not taking John, I'm going to lead his team. So he said, good luck. Well, that was a mistake. He turned Dennis Schroeder into some type of Euro star for like 10 games on his team, and that was the biggest thing that hurt us. If you would have broke that roster down, you were the worst team of the year, you're leaving it with at least Ace Bailey the following year. All that sacrifice would have been worth it, but no, he didn't. So as much as you could say the big three screwed him over, he did a lot to screw us over by not doing everything.
That's cap. And that's where I disagree with y'all the most. That's where I disagree with y'all the most. The odds are what they are. We had better odds than the team that got the number 1 pick. We had better odds than the team that got the number 2 pick. That's cap. That's cap. Y'all hang on all this losing shit, and that shit.
I do want to say this, right? When the lottery ended,
cooking.
I was giving pushback to Gary on this point, but after a few days, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta agree with Gary. We won 20 games, bro. We really did the best that we could.
Thank you.
We did the best that we could.
Of course, we did the best we could.
We was a bottom
but
3 team, and we still did not get a top 3 pick.
Bro, you listen, and I'm the only person that knew why. I said it for the last
Chicago and
days.
Memphis jumping you. That's an issue.
Memphis, hold on, time out. Did I not say Chicago was getting a top 5 pick? Their last top 5 pick, bro, was Pat Williams. That was in 2020.
That's true.
Our last top 5 pick was Derek. That's cap too, Leaf, because our last top 5 pick was Derek Favors. That was 20.
That was 2012.
Yeah, that was.
Oh no, 2012.
Let's talk about what I just said. I said the Bulls 300 days ago was getting a top 5 pick before us, and I was right.
Bro, as soon as them
no, but you're saying that because I don't know if I'm misunderstanding you. Are you saying that they was getting it because of the last time they got that pick? Because that's what it sounded like.
I'm not saying that's why they got it, bro. So Chicago Bulls got a top 5 pick because they're the ones that orchestrated the trade to get De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs.
Yeah, they got nothing out of that shit. Like they got
nothing out of it. Castle still stayed. He was supposed to be in the deal.
Yeah, and then you look at Memphis.
Memphis sent Bane to Orlando, and then they sent Triple J to Utah.
So we the only team. We the only team that trade away stars. We the only team that trade away stars and get nothing in. Because if we even
who did you trade?
What?
That's a fact.
We traded away Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden.
But you didn't
got nothing.
Ain't got nothing
out of that.
You can't tell me recycling draft capital makes this guy a competent. You can never use that argument because look at what he's surrounded around the team. This guy took chances on the Reek Whiteheads, Timothy Cabrios. Like this guy doesn't identify talent like he should. If you choose Mike Hill over Acuff, he better be top 2 option because if this kid,
let me tell you something. I disagree with that because Derek Whitehead, before he got hurt, I had Derek Whitehead in that class as a top 3 player before he got hurt. I did. Before he got hurt, I had him that high. I like the skill set. I like what I saw from the kid. He got hurt, and I think he never really recovered from that injury. But that goes back to taking chances on hurt players. I never agreed with that.
That's what he's always done.
That was a Jersey kid too.
No, listen.
But that's the same thing. Like if he was able to get back fully healthy and get back to what I saw for him in high school and some of the young kid stuff that I saw from him, then that would have been a slam dunk pick.
Priest, The guy he's developed the last 10 years is a backup named Dayron Sharp. Like Claxton maybe progressed a little bit in playmaking, but you can't tell me that the best thing he could have developed the last 10 years was a backup center. So, like, this guy should not be in charge. And if you choose Mike Kilrake,
It's not his job to develop the players.
With the exception,
What are we talking about? It's not. Hold on, LM.
With the exception of Yegor,
One mic, yeah.
With the exception of Yegor, and with the only exception of Yegor, and possibly Nolan, with the exception of those two and the rookies, most of the team was made out of late first rounders and second rounders. What would y'all expecting him to do in those ranges?
No, that's real shit. What y'all expecting to do was second
He's
round.
the one that drafted Jared Allen, who ended up being an all-star. Now, KD, hold on. KD wanted James Harden. Most teams, when you talk about the Warriors, when you talk about Houston, when you talk about Phoenix, most teams, it ain't just us. Most teams, when they got a star player, they do what their star player wants. I guarantee you, even with Greg Popovich and all this shit, if Wendy said, "Hey, yo, I want to get Giannis. Let's figure out a way to make that happen." Giannis might be a damn spur if Milwaukee accepts
That's
the deal.
not how shit go in San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio's different, man.
So what do you hold this man?
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about this specific player. Everybody's saying Lou Dort gonna be gone out of Thunder. If Shea wants Lou Dort still there, he'll still be there. Period.
Man, if not, he should be additional on this team. But Brees, so what do you hold Sean?
I feel like Sean has I don't agree with all the picks last year. I was some guys that I wanted instead of some of the guys we took.
There were a lot of guys.
I was happy. I was happy with Yegor. I was happy with Danny Wolf, and I was happy with Nolan. Those three I was happy with. So, I mean, as far as I feel like I'm really trying to give Jordy a chance, but I feel like Jordy might not be the developmental coach. He might be the winning coach, right?
That's what I said this year. Yeah.
So when we're looking at, because Kenny was the developmental coach, Kenny does not fit in Cleveland because he does not fit with superstars.
Right.
So if we had Kenny with this group, I think Yegor would look a ton better. I think Nolan would look a ton better. I think Danny would look a ton better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because I've seen the results of it. He made Karis LeVert into a 20-point per game guy, right?
Do you think if we had that Thiago Splitter guy that just signed with the Bulls as a coach, you think he would help?
No.
Well, I'm asking Priest. Do you think Thiago Splitter would help?
I think Thiago should have stayed in Portland. Thiago seems more like a guy who is ready to win. I don't know about the development because I don't think Scoot developed. I think Scoot went to the G League and got a more consistent jump shot, but he's still not a good player to me. So I think I think he might be good with big man because Klingon has looked good, Robert Williams has looked good. But so he might help us, but he don't want to go to be no assistant coach right now. So I think we have to figure out what the direction of the team is. So if we take it A cup, and it all depends on who's there. We're sitting at 6. We're not sitting in the top 4. So it all depends on who's there. The Clippers can take A cup because and then we ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Then we got to take Brown or so on and so forth.
Well, hang on. The thing with that is the Clippers are supposedly trying to be the third team involved with a Giannis trade, so they get Jaylen Brown. So that pick will most likely go to like the Bucks, and they can.
I think that's more of a hearsay rumor, though. Like I heard that too, but I don't know if that's definitive. Like the Clippers are in no position really to even trade for like a Jaylen Brown.
I would not be surprised if the Spurs got involved if Jaylen Brown's for sale.
Whoa, Jaylen Brown and Wemby, yo! I didn't want to talk about that.
I won't be surprised if they're because De'Aaron Fox has already unfollowed the Spurs. He's basically, I think he's resigned to the fact that he's probably on the way out.
A big
So
They got a lot of rumors on the internet. I'm gonna pull some of them up. So what was the first one you said? Fox, Jaylen Brown. Where? What you said?
So the Clippers were trying to be involved with the Giannis trade, so they could be the third team involved for the Celtics to get Giannis, but they're trying to get Jaylen Brown, so they were trying to help move that by getting their fifth pick and other assets to go get Jaylen Brown to compare with Kawhi Leonard and Darius Garland. I don't think that'll happen, but it's just something to talk about.
Only Atlanta Hawks have been mentioned as a Brown destination because that's his hometown too.
San Antonio actually would be a good. I feel a good place.
So hold on. Y'all
Jaylen
think Jaylen Brown is out of Boston? Y'all think that trade gonna happen?
I don't know. Giannis
think he could be.
Boston doesn't make sense for me, but
I think he could be because everybody tried to turn on Jaylen Brown because of his comments at the end of the season. So, and at a certain point, and this is not even talking about with the organization, but as a player, at a certain point, you're really tired of having your name mentioned as a trade candidate.
Yeah.
So, I think Jaylen is all. I think it more so depends on him. We have to wait and see what he wants.
And get involved in that. If they're talking about getting on Fox, Fox can be on his way to Milwaukee.
But
and
the
then
thing
Jaylen going to San Antonio.
You're gonna have to add a bunch of assets to get on Fox because he just got a new max, and nobody really wants that shit. So they're gonna have to add even more.
I think San Antonio
if he's going to Milwaukee, hold on. If he's going to Milwaukee, that might not be as bad, right? Because Milwaukee would still need a point guard.
You're right, but also if that trade does happen, they most likely they don't want to keep him because they're still gonna be a bad team, and they might want to get off him so they can get more assets.
Nobody's gonna want it. That's the thing, though. You're gonna need to at least get rid of 2 years of Fox's money on their team before he's eligible to move. Nobody wants to pay that guy as is. But could you imagine a Dylan Harper, Jaylen Brown, Wemby trio? That might be more unstoppable than what we have with Katie, Kyrie, and James. Like that's something you cannot prepare for.
Wait. So John, time out. John, say that again.
Dylan Harper, Jaylen Brown, and Wemby. That'd be one of the most dominant potential what-if trios ever if that happens. Like, how could you stop that? Seriously, did you see what Dylan Harper did?
I don't think they get him. But I do think they need a wing.
The problem is Milwaukee is asking for the farm. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But they've
but it's not a problem for the Spurs because the Spurs is like third in assets.
So look.
But no, that's not the type. That's not the farm that they asking for. They asking for more than that. They probably gonna want either Castle. I guarantee they're not gonna want Fox out of this deal. Yeah. They probably gonna get Fox to make the money match, but they're gonna want a whole lot more than that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They would probably get a Carter Bryant. Like that's one piece that's like
Milwaukee should be trying to get picks more than players, in my opinion.
But that's the problem.
They're trying to get both.
They're trying to get both.
But they're not going to be able to get. And you would need a team like the Spurs to get that. You see what I'm saying? Because it wouldn't make no sense for us to get involved in that. To give them picks for no reason. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't make no sense for the Thunder to get involved in that if they're not getting one of those players.
Besides us and OKC, Spurs got a boatload of
picks. Well, what you need is gonna need is a farmers market franchise to get involved in that shit, bro. Like it's probably gonna be
because the Thunder would have to probably trade J-Dub to make that work. And they're not doing that.
Another team might be involved for
the team that makes the most sense would probably be the Clippers or the Spurs. The Clippers have players, but they don't have the picks.
They do now. Hang on, they got the 5th overall pick, and they own a couple of their other picks. Like they're a team that doesn't draft. They rather give up the picks.
I would also throw in the Hawks, who do have a lottery pick as well. They've been connected to Brown for a long time. Also, Portland is another team because they also have 3 of.
But what players are Atlanta giving up? Since people saying they want players and picks, so what players are Atlanta giving up?
They have a lot of young pieces and capital. Like the Hawks are in that position to get
Jalen Johnson. Definitely not. Jalen Johnson.
They're not trading Jalen Johnson.
No, it would probably hang on. It would probably be, even though nobody likes him, Zach Ricochet, like Ace Noel, and other people like that. Nobody likes him.
But that's the thing. You got to make, if you're bringing in a player like that, the money has to match. Yeah, well, that's why the Spurs work so well because they got a guy who makes the money.
Even for his bad performance. Like y'all talking about a trade going to Minnesota, right? You're talking about
No.
So
No.
it was Atlanta. It was Atlanta. But the thing is, Atlanta would be the fourth team involved in that.
who y'all said Fox was taking that contract? Who was taking
That's what I said. Nobody said. I don't think nobody.
Milwaukee.
Minnesota. Okay.
And everybody keeps saying, I don't think nobody taking that contract. I don't think nobody. How many times have people said, I don't think nobody gonna take that contract, and somebody took it?
Nobody really.
I mean, that stuff happens every day.
You're right, but the thing is, they gonna have to add a shit ton of assets because you just gave him a recent supermax.
So hold on. Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this.
San Antonio, I think, got the assets.
Y'all see, I got Nas Reed in the thumbnail, right?
Okay.
You don't think that we could use any of the Brooklyn Nets draft picks and get Nas Reed since the Minnesota?
Nas Reed is not coming here, man.
You'd have to make the contract work. And I know you
niggas keep aiming high for role players. What type of shit is this?
Let me respond to this.
So we gonna make a role nigga starting for over here.
We talked about Nas Reed a few weeks ago on your show. The only problem is you have to make the money work. We talked about an MPJ for Nas swap. The Nets would have to take on another bad contract like a Randall or a Dante. They probably want capital. So unfortunately, I know you don't like this, Breeze, but Randall might be more of a movable piece than Nas Reed.
If it ain't Zion, I don't want that shit, bro.
I would take. Hey, this might be hot for y'all ears. I would take Julius Randle before I took Zion Williamson. He's a durable player. He's a winning player. Zion Williamson ain't done shit in his league. Julius Randle, hey, let's keep it real. Julius Randle has taken the team to the playoffs as the number one guy. Period.
Look,
Zion,
I don't give a shit about none of that, bro. Like,
in the playoffs, Julius Randle sucked. But we trying to get to the playoffs right now.
Priest, you got to.
We're trying to do a lot of things, bro, but it ain't going to happen in one damn year.
Priest, you got to. Who's a better compliment to say if we do draft
Randle, bro? We just picking up niggas that want money.
You got to ask yourself, who's a better compliment if we do draft an Acuff, Randle or Zion? I think it's Zion because Acuff can set that guy up for easy interior offense. With Randle, he's a bit of a ball hog. Like, as much as I agree with you, at one point he was number one option, he's more of like, at this stage of his career, that third option guy. But his problem is when Randle wants to dominate the basketball, the team just really starts playing like ass. So if you get him with Acuff,
but you only really see that in the playoffs, though. You only really hold on, John. You only really see that in the playoffs. We've seen this 2-year experiment right now with him and Ant-Man coexisting very well in the regular season in the Western Conference. So I think as far as him playing, sure, he's going to want his shots, which is fine. He's an all-star level player. But if you put him with a Darius Acuff, it can kind of speed his development. He likes playing with Acuff. See, what people don't understand about Acuff is he's a point guard first that can score at a high clip. You see what I'm saying? So he doesn't have any issue, like what they said in the interview, whether it's 45 points or 45 assists. He don't have any issue getting other people to looks. So if a guy like Randle, who really hasn't played with a point guard like that, I'm just saying if I'm comparing them two players. Y'all keep talking about Zion getting in Brooklyn and start wilding out. I ain't even with it.
Well, after hearing your answer,
man, listen, Zion come here and start wilding out, then the niggas tone gonna change.
Well, after what Priest just said, if we kind of like backtrack a little bit, when Randle did play with Brunson for that little stretch of time, they were like one of the most dominant teams in the East. So maybe Priest has a bit of a point there. Like Randle, Acuff would obviously be our top two options on this team. Like that could definitely get you to a play-in spot, let's say. My only thing is, though, to what Leaf is saying, though, having a Zion in your front court with an Acuff, that's two potential star tandems that I think could eventually elevate you with more pieces added to it. So I feel like there's two arguments there for either one, but it would kind of be like if it's Randle, we have to get some assets back because let's remember he's kind of far away from what he was with the Knicks, though. But I think you made a good argument, though, Priest, that maybe an Acuff Randle has potential. But to what Leaf is saying, Zion Acuff could have just as much potential as well. So I don't think you can go wrong.
My issue with Zion is more than basketball. If we were just talking about basketball, That's just one thing. I think Zion might be more talented than Julius Randle. But his mindset, does he love the game? All those things matter to me. This dude is out there with the BBL shorties and all this and that. I'm not really as Breezy would say, jacking that shit. He'll come here, I feel like, and be on the bullshit. He already can't stop eating the shit in New Orleans. They gotta put weight clauses in his contract. I don't want players that I gotta tell to do their job. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all want to put that nigga in New York.
Well,
Like,
listen, man. Look,
Just like, and I put it, I even go a step further. Just like Kyler Murray in football. If I gotta put clauses in your contract for you to read your playbook, I don't want you. If I gotta put clauses in your contract for you to stay in shape, I don't want you. That's how I look at it.
The hell with all of that, man. Like, bring that fat nigga over here, man. I don't care if he eating cheese whiz. I don't care if he eating cheese whiz and popcorn mix, bro.
We were just talking about culture, Lee. We were just talking about culture. How would a guy like that you have,
culture, bro? Like, yo, just bring the nigga.
And then we're not gonna have one if we bring him. I've been listening. I ain't said nothing.
I'd rather take a shot on that shit than the bullshit that the rest of these niggas are bringing up.
Hey, Big, I wanted to
trying to get
if you bring him over here and he only play 25, if you bring him over here,
pay that fat nigga when he get over here.
If you bring him over here and he only played 25 games, what's the story?
You ain't paying him because of the contract.
Exactly. No harm, no foul.
The contract we gave him, it really makes it.
What's the point of making the move, bro?
Because it's
that to me is a waste of a roster pick. I'm not taking a chance on a nigga that can't play 70 games.
The only appeal is you're getting Zion at his lowest. Like, we're talking about the Claxton man, maybe a pick B move. Like, if you get a guy like that who's once projected to be a top star in this league, you kind of take a chance. Listen, I was fully against
but y'all don't remember us taking a chance on a gentleman. Y'all don't remember us taking a chance on a gentleman by the name of Ben Simmons as well, who had that same potential and all these things, couldn't stay healthy.
Please, I was fully against the Zion stuff when we were trying to tank the generational talent.
And I remember the nigga that believed in the nigga Ben Simmons when he was here too.
Because he was a Brooklyn Net. See, this is the thing y'all understand about. If Zion is a Brooklyn Net, I'm going to root for Zion because he's on my team. That doesn't mean I didn't want James Harden, but he came to the team and I rooted for him. He's on the team. See, I guess people get this confused about me. I don't think you ever heard me say, yeah, let's go get Ben Simmons. However, once the move is made, I can't do anything about it, and I'm not going to actively root against a player that is on the team that I root for. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
I understand all the concerns about Zion, but like I was fully like against not even wanting to consider this guy. We were trying to take the generational talent. That boat obviously sailed and didn't work in our favor. So now like you have to kind of readjust the strategy a little bit. So like what Leaf is saying, you get the guy in a discount, considering our roster is so bad as is, you're not really losing a whole lot in the future. Get rid of contracts you don't want. Get up maybe a pick that you don't care about at worst. So even if it's like Leaf, like LM just had a flush asset, if he doesn't do any better on this team, at least you pick it.
Listen, the nigga that went second, that was towing guns on social media, has better success than that nigga, and that was the number one pick. But listen, at this point, I don't know. Like,
sometimes people are what they show you.
At least Ja led Memphis to a second seed, my nigga. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think sometimes we be trying to force stuff. Sometimes people are who they show you they are. Sometimes that's just true.
Strategy together, bro. Like the hell with all that bullshit. We get players, bro, that connect on the court together, bro. Fuck everything else that they doing.
To reinforce the topic,
as long as they connect on the court, and we're all a common cause, and the coaches and the staff and the players is all connected. That's all I give a shit about. I don't give a shit if these niggas are smoking.
But what makes you think that Zion, or excuse me, that Jordy would be somebody that wants Zion Williamson on his basketball team?
Well, y'all are a team that are interested in Zion. So I'm a Pelicans fan. So I'll let you know, y'all are one of the 3 teams that are interested in Zion. The problem, problem is, and this is what I've been having. This is what I've been trying to tell John for the past 10 minutes, but I haven't got to say it yet. John, Joe Dumars is the GM. he don't want to get rid of him. So he's not getting rid of him for Nick Claxton, Trey Man, and a random pick.
But you
That
are
was my point exactly. That was my point
That adds to what I was saying because I'm damn sure not paying no high amount for no Zion.
Wait, but you are considering getting rid of
Joe Dumars what he want.
Wait.
Joe Dumars. Yeah,
But wait, you are considering getting rid of Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, who are two important wings of what you're trying to build on that team. So you get rid of those two guys, you just have Zion, Fears, and Derek Queen. And to be quite honest with you, I don't see how Queen and Zion, you can put those two timelines together because you literally gave up a historic draft for Derek Queen. So we must really covet that guy a lot more than a guy who literally had star potential. But last few years, this guy's already admitted he never even wants to be in the Pelicans in the first place. This guy wants to be in a big stage market. So as much as I agree you're stuck in a no man's land of having to compete, at least we give you guys some veteran players you can align with Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen to help lead their careers forward. So there is some potentiality there in a deal. But hang
on. Let me say this. But John, this goes back to what I said. You're not the only team interested still. There's still other teams like Chicago and another team. I can't think off the top of my head. But it goes back to what I said. We still got him for 3 years. They are not. Joe Dumars is the only person that does not want to get rid of him. And he's
if you're not going to trade him now, then probably maybe down the line if you guys don't become a top team. But I just want to kind of reinforce what Breezy's topic of the show has been. The Nets have a huge draft coming up in a week, but we have a lot of optionality with additions to add, whether that could be a Randall, a Zion, a Lou Dort, a Hartenstein. Like the Nets need to get physical type players on this team to help elevate the team because you can't just have this 3-point shot patty cake stuff Jordy's doing. You need interior physicality. You need solid rebounding. Like if you add some of those additions to who you draft next week with the guys you drafted a year ago, the Nets could have something exciting to rejuvenate the base. But you have to add those pieces. Like Sean Marks cannot stand pat and make 1 or 2 phony-ass moves and say, oh, that was a great offseason. These young guys are going to have a huge, a leap here. No, you got to add those right pieces to at least give us a starting base of where the Brooklyn Nets are going and to get an identity back on this team. So there are a lot of options, whether it's Zion, Randall, Lou Dort. Like you got to get one of those guys to align with these young guys to elevate their level of play. And I hope we can do that. But again, this front office has a lot riding on them right now. They have to deliver some results right now. Because for 10 years, they haven't delivered shit for the Brooklyn Nets. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think Zion is a bad idea. I just think realistically, like the off-court thing is not the problem to me. It's just his help on the court. Like if you're talking about a guy that was healthy, played 79 plus 77 games over the course of his career, I'll be with it. But I mean, as Nets fans, I think we should be tired of getting niggas that's always injured on the roster.
Y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me, y'all?
Yeah, that's the video, Breeze. That's the video I was talking about from Nets Kingdom.
Right, we gonna watch some videos, not just this one, but this one first, and we just gonna recap it. That's all. Hold on.
Our workout today is focusing on a lot of Darius's movement into shots and him coming out of DHOs.
Can y'all hear it?
And re-screens and just really like fine-tuning his overall game with finishes in the paint, catch and shoot threes, and just making sure that we're gearing him up for the team workouts he's headed into.
My greatest strength on the court is my ability to do different things on offense. Might have 30 points, might have 13 assists, might do both in the same game.
Might do both in the same game.
That shows them why he's the best point guard in this draft.
Say the best point guard in the draft.
Give yourself space. Yeah. Like one of your strengths is really coming downhill like that anyways, right?
Yeah. I say my NBA player comp right now, probably I watch a lot of Damian Lillard.
Darius is a highly valued prospect right now because he had one of the best collegiate careers in the last 30 years this season. It's yours to score. Basically, you versus everyone. It's really hard to find holes in his game right now because at the collegiate level, he was so efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over, and for how high his usage rate was, like that's just an extremely valuable trait. So that's one reason why teams are really high on him.
I would describe my game as definitely toughness, a will to win, a great teammate, exciting for sure.
You can score here too. Look, this outside the paint.
Learn something new every day.
That count though. Huh?
Yeah. All right. So again, now that being said, I want to say this to Leaf because Leaf said, I don't want to see no damn on no podcast and yada yada whoop de whoop. Now I just gotta say, hold on, I just gotta say that
Nah,
is
move off of
playing
me, man.
basketball. In the
I don't
very
give a
next
shit,
video
bro.
I
Move off of
seen,
me,
I'm
bro.
just saying. You said you wanted to see. What about Mikal Brown Jr.? He playing basketball somewhere. Like I'm just
Bro,
saying.
everything don't gotta be recorded, bro. We all should know what these niggas are doing.
You have to respect the work ethic of Darius Acuff. Like, this guy is literally working on his game, on what he's great at. He even said in our previous interview, I'm not guarding the wing on my team. I'm guarding the guard I have to guard. Like, I appreciate his brutal honesty. Like, for the people that are attacking his defensive weaknesses, yes, he has some defensive problems, but he's not going to say, oh, I'm going to magically start guarding wings and bigs because you tell me to. He's going to guard the opposing guard he has to guard. And if he gets cooked on that end, he has nobody to blame but himself.
What he should be saying is, bro, I'm trying to do any and everything to win.
So, Leaf, you want to guard a
what he should be saying is, I'm trying to do any and everything to win. I don't care about what he guarding.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but he's on the podcast with Draymond Green. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that lives
flag number one.
On deep. There's a guy who lives on. Hold on. This is a guy that
punching people in the face.
This is a guy that lives on the defensive side. For what Draymond. One thing that I don't like Draymond, but one thing I appreciate him telling him is, I don't know if Breezy can go to the clip, but he tells him all the way at the end, like of the interview, like, yo, lock in with your defensive coordinator. The guys like me that see y'all come into the league and doesn't have a ounce to guard, we do pick on y'all. Lock in, assume whatever team you go to, lock in with your defensive coordinator, watch over film, see, try to play defense, because one, that's going to keep you on the floor, and two, is going to make it harder for us to pick on you. We're not going to put you in every set because we already know, we can't pick on this guy. He's actually going to play defense. And for Draymond, for saying that, Draymond especially, I feel like him giving him that advice is crucial. And for what it's worth, Acuff heard him. He was like, "Nah, you're right. Like, that's a valid statement." So, I mean, I'm not saying that's all of a sudden he's gonna be a all decoy, but I think for him, Darius Acuff, I think him getting that knowledge from Draymond was important. And even him saying that at the combine, like, I want to get better at defense because that's how I'm going to be able to play. Like, coach is going to take me off the floor if I'm not playing any kind of defense. I want to get honed in on that, side of the ball. So I think realistically, I want to see that. That's really what I'm looking for. I think the offense is going to come along for him in the NBA, but I do want to see him at least show effort on that side of the floor and see if, the advice that he's getting from Draymond and the mentality that he's talking about. I want to see if he's really about it. Cool. You say you want to get better on that end. Let's see if you really want to back up, what you're talking about.
I think the film speaks for itself. And if he gets cooked by other guards, he has nobody to blame but himself. But ask this guy to guard the wings and centers. He literally said to the person, "I'm not doing that. Like, that's not my job. My job is to run the offensive team as a QB, set everybody up for good shots, drop an easy 30, maybe average 8 to 10 assists. But defensively, I have to guard the opposing guards. And if I get cooked on that end, you could all, burn me burn me for that one, okay? But still, this kid is very confident and he has a solid work ethic. It's just everybody wants to attribute the defensive stuff to, like, oh, this guy is not a good prospect to invest in. Okay, we just had Towns and Brunson, two of the worst defenders, two of the arguably worst defenders in basketball, just win a title. So I get it's a special little group of people that have won a title, but this kid Acuff is very focused. He's very focused and locked in.
Look at the team they had though. Like, they had one of the best two-way defenders I've seen probably since Kawhi Leonard in OG Anunoby. Yep. You got Michael, very versatile defender. Josh Hart, just pure effort. You got like
nothing but scrappy dudes.
I don't think Mikel was really effective that series, but I'll just count it just because.
Not effective.
You're talking about that series. You're talking about that series, bro. Do you, like, even if you don't want to consider that series, he's still a really good two-way player, like a very good two-way player.
Yeah, Kobe right about that too. He said Cash showed major improvement in defense.
But my thing is also this though.
And wait, Cat, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years for him to do that.
But my
That
thing
ain't
is,
show
my
a
thing is,
goddamn
I
thing. He got
also want to
fouled
say,
out.
I also want to say this too, though. We
That
we
nigga
look
got
at the
carried.
we look at the players over the years, right? We look at the players over the years in terms of players that are better players, whatever the case may be. To Priest's point, Randall was pretty much the start of that whole Knicks run in terms of their game. They landed Jalen Brunson. Brunson proved to be the player. They switched gears. One thing I will say and give, I hate that nigga Doan, but to give Leon Rose credit, they didn't complain. They looked, okay, we got our guy, and they went and found guys to surround him with. Now, I'm not saying that these guys growing trees. I'm not saying that. You ain't really gonna find a OG or a Mikel like that. Damn sure not gonna find a cat of that caliber either. But what I'm saying is, as a GM, especially with Portland, with Golden State, when they found their guys, whether it's Steph, whether it's Dame or whatever, if Dame was playing for the Nets, his resume damn near would probably be the best Brooklyn net to play. Just dragging his teams to multiple playoffs year after year after year. Yeah, running into Golden State, he didn't get the job done. But
LM, we
realistically,
talking
bro,
LM. We
we talk.
talking
Hold
based
on,
on how
Lee.
Dame.
We
We
talking.
hold up. Time out. We
Hold
talking
on, Lee.
based
Let me
on how
just finish
Dame
this
career
point.
went in Portland, bro. We don't know if he
Let me
would have
just
did the
finish the
same shit
point,
somewhere
right?
else.
Hold on, but let me
Listen,
just finish the point. What I'm saying is when you have the player, you have to pivot. There is no other choice. I'm not saying realistically that it got to be the Knicks type of lineup or a Portland type of lineup, or maybe it's a Golden State type of lineup. Like you said, every team is different. It's not back to back dynasties where teams are just winning chips.
That's
But
what I'm
if you're
saying.
getting that A cup, then yeah, you're going to have to put in work as a GM and find pieces. You can't, if this is your best player, you can't just be there like, oh, this is our best player. We can't build around him. We gotta, you just gotta sit on that ass. Like, no, you as a GM, you got scouts on your
as a
team.
GM, you
You
got
have
to
to
build the whole
use your
fucking
bit.
roster.
Yeah.
That's your job.
But hold on,
just like
it's more than just five
That's
pieces.
Build the
what are
whole
you talking
goddamn
about?
roster, bro. Where's the 6'10" niggas off the damn bench? They're
Leon
supposed
Rose
to
was supposed to
hustle.
sit on his, Leon Rose was supposed to sit on his butt when he found out Jalen Brunson was him. No, he went and scouted. They went and found guys to surround Brunson with. He didn't just sit on his butt and be like, "Oh, he's a small guard. There's no wings in the league. Oh, okay, I give up." No, you're supposed to do your job.
LM. The quiet part out loud is the Knicks been had the damn team to compete. They just had the wrong goddamn coach.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Players, RJ wasn't winning with them.
Leaf.
Quickly wasn't winning with them.
Leaf. Just like Jay.
How long ago they traded them niggas? They traded them niggas like 3 years ago.
OG been on that team for like 3 years now.
Yo, Brooklyn LM quickly
My nigga,
went
they
into
just
bag, you
damn
heard?
near almost traded for OG.
Quickly
Porzingis was a draft pick and they traded him. Porzingis was 5 and they traded him.
Leaf. Just like Jay's famously
They
once said on
maneuvered,
his-
bro.
Wait, just like
Hold on. I just want to say this. The far as identity, right? I not to cut you off, John, but far as identity is like players that play to win, and it is players that play for the money.
Right.
When Quickly was playing for the Knicks. Trust me, he was playing for that contract. Players know when they want to stay at and where they just want to get paid. Like they know the chemistry in the locker room. They know. Some of it is spill onto the basketball court, but some of it just be in the locker room. But they know. Jose Alvarado, he wants to win with the New York Knicks. And when I segue to say that's what we need to draft. We need to draft a player that wants to like have a legacy. Like I gave this franchise their first NBA championship. We need to identify with a player like that, not somebody who just want to come here and just do business per usual and just get their money and live their fabulous.
Listen, Breeze, I do you one better. We need to identify with a team like that. The hell this is that one player shit. I'm sick and tired of niggas talking about one player like one player gonna save the fucking day.
No, I'm not saying it's identifying with one player, but we are trying to draft a superstar. This is our number 6 pick. When we were hold on. When we was trying to get the number 1 through 4 pick, we was trying to draft a superstar. And from what I hear, that our hopes of trying to get a superstar isn't gone because of Darius Acuff Jr. And some saying it's not even about that. It's Mikal Brown Jr. But case in point is, bro, these dudes gotta want it when they come here. We've seen free agents come here, get the bag, and dip.
Right. Breezy made some great points. And just like I keep saying with identity, like you cannot just have the Brooklyn Mark as your identity. Remember what Jay once famously said? This isn't basketball. This is basketball. You need clutch guys that will have the will to win. And to what Ellen Breeze just said, you don't want a guy that's just in this for the money. Look at De'Aaron Fox. He just robbed the NBA for $50, $60 million in next 4 years. Look how horrible he's been since he got that money. This dude got replaced by Dylan Harper in 1 year. That's not a guy you want to invest in. You want a guy that if you get paid those big bucks, you're delivering every year and putting yourself in those all-star conversations. Like this kid like Acuff, he's not motivated by the money. He's motivated by being the best basketball player he can be on any team he's a part of. And that's a guy you want to invest in. Listen, there are going to be some weaknesses to work through, but there's just like Ellen said, that's what someone's job is, to find the pieces, to build the balance, to build that winning freaking culture. If that's not what he's on this team for, get out of Brooklyn. That's your job. You find the kid in Acuff, it's time to build a team. That's what your job is as a GM. So they were both cooking on that just now.
Like that. So we just said all of that like Mikal Brown ain't thinking the same exact shit at all. We just said that all of that like Mikal Brown ain't got the same attitude that Darius Acuff. We just said all of that like Mikal Brown. Bro, like
this point still applies, even if Mikal still got the same. For me, that's not my point. But even if you get Mikal, the same logic applies. If you get that nigga, you gotta build a team around him. Don't be sitting on your ass.
Easier to build a team around him than Darius Acuff.
Cool. Yes, I get it. I agree. But you still have to be able to build a team. Don't be sitting on your butt trying to sit and try to be like, oh, we can't get the wings. We can't get the
all I know.
Get your guys.
Hold on. Let's just call it for what it is. If we got Darius Acuff Jr., then we got Diego and we got Mikal Brown Jr. as the 2 and the 3. What does that look like for the Brooklyn Nets? I think it's heavy on offense, but bad on defense.
Hold on.
If we got hold up. If
we draft Darius Acuff Jr., our 2 is Diego Doman, and our 3 is MPJ. So I'm saying, what does that look like? And I answer my own question. Say it look like we heavy on offense, light on defense.
Light, nigga, we fish.
Yeah, y'all fish.
That's crazy.
We fish either way. 2 of them niggas is horrible defenders, even if you get Mikal.
Fucking steak and crab dinner.
Mikal ain't gonna make them niggas elite defenders.
Listen. Wherever you have Mikal at defensively is not where you have Acuff at defensively. Let's just get that out the way now.
That's gonna make the whole team a better defense. That's my point. Even if you get Mikal, Diego still ass on defense, and PJ is still ass on defense. What you're
worrying about is not just whether Mikal is going to turn out just as good as Acuff, but is he going to fit well, bro? Like with all of the pieces that's already there that we're trying to groom now.
With Yegor, y'all, my thing is,
we got pieces that we still trying to groom now.
Like my thing is, y'all drafted a bunch of guards last year. It seems like y'all just throwing them away right now.
We're not throwing Yegor away.
No,
I think if you,
it's just me just throwing it because it seems like that's the way we're talking about it. Like they're not there. Like the whole part of him being a quote unquote combo guard is because he still needs to learn how to have a handle. If you draft Darius Acuff is touching the ball with that high ass usage rate. You're
no, it's not.
Maybe
hold on. Just to be for clarity, when I say Diego at the 2, because that's primarily where I see his comfort zone at, and I'm saying that to say he showed interest in wanting to be a facilitator, so he would get point guard duties, but it wouldn't be primary. The primary point guard would be Darius Acuff Jr. And he would be like
let me ask y'all a question. Ashton specifically. Right, the guys that we pick, cool, right? If we got the second pick and we was eligible to get Dylan Harper, we don't pick Dylan Harper because we got these guys?
Hell no, I'm getting Dylan Harper.
But you see, if you would have had the second pick, you wouldn't have drafted those guys anyway. Because if you had this,
he's talking about
No,
He's
no,
talking
I'm talking
about if
about
we
this
had the
draft.
second
If a
pick this
Dylan
year.
Harpel's coming up in this draft, and we have the
in
second
this
pick,
draft,
and
We
we
had the
have these
second pick
guys,
in this
do
draft,
we
bro.
do we
That'll
not
be
pick a
either
Dylan Harper?
Boozer or Caleb
yeah,
Wilson.
you would pick
Leave.
Boozer.
I'm not. I'm talking about. I'm talking. All right, cool. Darren Peterson. Then, if we had a chance to get Darren Peterson, will we take him?
With
No.
Due to the guys we got on this
who
court.
else is on the board?
Nigga,
Yeah.
two. I said if we're two.
Okay,
If
okay.
we're
Who went
two,
number one?
Who else is on the board?
Yeah, who went number one?
AJ.
Okay,
AJ probably goes one.
you still have Boozer because I
Okay,
hear you
who else is on the board?
I'm taking AJ right there. If I was either AJ,
If we're at two, no, I'm saying if we're at two, I'm assuming AJ goes one. Cool.
Right.
Who
That
else
means
is on
you
the board?
probably have Boozer. That mean if you get Boozer, you could probably get him. But if Darren Peterson, to most people, is majority the second pick. So if you're going to, cool, that's the difference of opinion. But if the front office is looking at Darren Peterson, this guy that is projected to be this elite guard in the NBA, do you get off him because you have Yegor, because you have Nolan, because you have Drake, because you have these guys who, in my opinion, Darren Peterson is better than all of these dudes.
LM. Listen, and that's fine. In your opinion, that might be fine. But in the opinion of the decision makers, we already know who in our front office. That's number one. Number two, the thing is, bro, we don't know what they're drafting for. We're drafting either best player right now, which in your mind may be Darren Peterson, and their mind might be goddamn Cam Boozer.
That's fine. I'm not saying that's wrong if they do get Boozer. My point is, just because of the better player that you may get, yeah, it's fair to say that the A cuff is probably far more advanced than the guys already on this roster. But I don't mean that means we're throwing them away. I just think what they did with San Antonio with Wemby. Now, I'm not saying A cuff is no Wemby. I'm just saying when they got the guy and they got the pieces, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, all of that went in their spots where they played better. Now, I'm not saying with A-Cuff or Mikal, if you get A-Cuff or Mikal, maybe Yegor, Nolan, Drake and them go in their correct spots. Maybe they look better because you got those guys.
Well, okay, they correct spots. Give me those spots because we already got Yegor at the two before A-Cuff even showed up.
Nolan, if Nolan is a your backup point guard, and that's his spot, cool.
We already got Nolan as a backup before he even showed up.
If Drake Powell is your backup too, cool.
Okay,
I'm not.
So and where that
already here.
Yeah, and hang
on. Already in those
put,
spots.
Yeah, and hang on. Where that put Ben Saraf? And when you answer that question, answer me who your backup power forward is, real quick.
Saraf is getting traded most likely in that scenario.
I don't know if Saraf is getting. I'm not. I don't know if Saraf is getting traded.
Our backup four is most likely Clowney.
Clown. So who's your and then you talk
about. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know if Clowney. They might still start Clowney. I'm not agreeing with Clowney as a backup four. I think Clowney still start. So
realistically, Danny Wolf, bro,
that's Jordy's decision. I don't agree. But Clowney may still start, so I'm not saying Clowney's coming off the bench. He might still start.
And then that's another reason. If you start Danny Wolf and you want to draft A-Cuff, you going to have A-Cuff, Yegor, MPJ, Danny Wolf?
Right.
Which is my point. Even if you get even if you get Darren Peterson, cool, or whatever the point may be, even if you got the top three guys, your roster still need work because none of these niggas is defensive minded like that. You still will have to put in work
to these guys gotta go. Hang on. That don't work. They gotta go at that point.
Actually, let me address that. You brought up
they gotta go.
Let me say something. That's brought up a great point. Listen, we all know Sean Marks screwed up that past draft. Listen, I don't think a lot of people are upset with potentially some of the players, but the problem was you drafted so many guys that are really guardish type guys. Even Danny Wolf, his best impact is as a point center. So that was a problem. Like if you would have drafted Hugh Gonzalez, Schiff Fleming, Maxime Renard, going to this year, you would have had more of a balanced young roster where you could just add some vets and you actually have something to actually build with. Our problem was it was all like basically 5 darts he took in the dark. Like you can't do a draft like that. Listen, I get the Yegor thing, Nolan, yes, but you didn't. I didn't even think you had to get Powell in that situation. I like Drake Powell, but you had other guys that maybe would have fit a little more better on this team. Same with Saraf. That's probably one of the worst picks you potentially get because that guy could have been a second-round pick at the worst. So I agree with you, Ashton. Sean Marks botched up last year because we're not really a balanced roster right now. We have way too many guards on this team. If you get Acuff, maybe 1 or 2 of these guys get pushed to the curb, but that's the unfortunate part of the business side of this. These guys had a year to try and show what they can do. This second year is huge for all of them, but this kid Acuff, even before he even got to the pros, has shown he's a few levels and years ahead of these guys, and he's a lot younger too, and that can't stop you from getting the best player available. So if Acuff comes to his team, and guys like Drake Powell, Ben Surratt, or even Nolan, unfortunately, are on the bubble a bit, that's the unfortunate part of business. We're looking for guys that want to lead this team, be solid contributors, and elevate this team. These 5 guys, I don't know if they're per se elevators. They're solid connectors, but are they elevators? And you have to figure that out this second year with some of them. And if a kid like Acuff pushes someone to the curb, that's the unfortunate part of the business side of this. But that's why you need to get talent on this team. You can't just wait 3 to 4 years for these guys to reach some level they're never going to reach. So that's on Sean Marks. He needs to be, held accountable for that. For doing that.
I agree with
the waiting 3 to 4 years thing, but that goes for most people. Like that goes like most young players that you got to wait 3 to 4 years. You think Jalen Johnson walked in the building? What are you doing? You think what is it? Jalen Brunson walked in the building doing what he's doing? No, Jalen Brunson couldn't start for the first 3 years.
The wait is fine. For me personally, people's gonna say it's Brooklyn, yada yada yada. They gotta rush with development. No, for me, the wait is fine. My issue was, and this is what I was saying even before the lottery happened. Even if you got AJ, even if you had Darren Peterson, even if you had Boozer, that's one piece. Yes, they're better than the entire roster. That is a fact. I think Acuff is better than the entire roster if you get him. The problem with that is you still have to build a unit. Even if you could have had freaking, who's the best defender in this draft? You could have had whoever the best defender in this draft.
Caleb Wilson.
You could have had Caleb Wilson on this team.
Yeah.
Your defense is still bad.
No,
you still have to improve your roster.
Hang on, you're absolutely right. But he also, in my opinion, would work with the players you have today. In like somebody with a Nolan Traore, with somebody like a Yegor, even though that they don't have the highest potential like these other guards you're talking about. But if we're talking about Darius Acuff and we're talking about the other 5 draft picks you just had, that I probably see one guy that actually might be able to work around him, which would be Drake Powell.
Nah, I think Acuff. I think Acuff fits just because of his potential off ball. If realistically, if for Brooklyn, what I'm trying to figure out. I think him and Yegor play off each other just fine. In my opinion.
So like when you say with Darius Acuff off ball, like what do you mean? Because are you just talking about his catch and shoot?
Off the catch and shoot, off the off ball screen.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Off ball is more than just that. Like he doesn't cut to the basket very well. He doesn't do many of other things off ball well. He's a good catch and shoot guy. But if we're talking about off ball,
that's a challenge. That's the challenge for him. We have to see him dribble the ball better this year. We have to see him make more decisions, be a little more athletic at the rim. Like Yegor has to have a lot more confidence. He cannot just be a 3-point Duncan Robinson type role guy on this team. He has to show elevation his sophomore year. And if he can drive to the paint more, have more of a mid-range game, not just a 3-point game, that's when you see the changes in elevation.
That's like a lot of what you're saying is going to depend on how our lineup looks. If you still got Claxton, a big goofy ass in the way, bro, like you ain't getting nobody at the basket. If you still got somebody holding the ball at the top of the key for 5 seconds off the shot clock, ain't none of that shit happening. The thing is, bro, like I feel like we have connecting passers. We also got connected scorers, but if the roster is ran right, if the lineups are ran correctly, if everything is ran correctly like it's supposed to be, and their connection works, and you get other athletes and other 3-and-D players and other 2-way players to fit around that, then it works. Danny Wolf, I think for that.
I think for that, you got to bring Zaire and Josh Minot back.
I agree.
I think you have to bring. I think especially if you get in the A cup of some caliber, and that is the guy that you want to pick, you got to look at bringing Zaire and Minot back. I think even if you get Mikal, you got to get Zaire and Minot back.
Right.
Those are 2, 3,
I think we doggone.
the floor
Y'all
and
need somebody to
play
play
3
over
and
the
D.
Y'all need some
We
overtime.
talking
And they
about
have
we talk about doggone defense or the roster construction like we did not understand that the team was trying to lose games, right?
Right.
So we
True.
keep talking about, oh, we got to build this, we got to build that. They know that. They know that. If you're in the NBA, you know that you have to put certain pieces on the team to be able to compete to win. Now, when you talk about our offense, whether it was by design or by mistake, was one of the worst offenses in basketball last year. That's why I want Darius A cup. We could not score the basketball. We were terrible. All we had was that stupid ass dribble handoff, Michael Porter Jr. shoot a three, uh,
Right.
off of Claxton passes. So we ain't got we y'all talking about we ain't got a guy that can break down the defense. We ain't got a guy that can do this. We ain't got a guy that can do that. So now you have an opportunity to get that, to get a guy who can get his own shot and get other people's shots. That doesn't mean that Nolan Traore is a footnote. That doesn't mean that Danny Wolf is a footnote. That helps those guys. That helps Dwight Powell to be a better 3D defensive player when you got a guy that can get his own shot so that he can just focus on the other things. Dwight Powell is good off ball cutting to the rim. He's a good athlete. He's a guy that can do all those things. So when you get a Darius Acuff, that solves all those problems. We even with a guy like Nick Claxton, we didn't get to see. We haven't seen a pick and roll with him since James Harden left for real. I mean,
He's
but
regressed so badly, Nick Claxton.
Why
He's
why
regressed
why do
so
why do
badly.
why do we think? And I understand, bro. And you made a great point where we didn't see a pick and roll with him since James Harden left. Mind you, James Harden is one of the best pick and roll initiators, bro, and probably in the hit that we've seen in the history of the league, with in terms of his ability to find the lob and draw fouls and score in different motions. My thing is that everybody just automatically assumes that Darius Acuff is gonna unlock that shit.
I know that he is the best uh point guard in this class. And everybody can talk about Brown. I know that because I've watched them all. I've watched these guys all year. I've watched the tournament. I've watched this shit. So to me, it ain't even a damn question.
The way that is determined is what you do in the league, bro. Like this is why the draft happens the way it
But
does.
everybody knows that. All you can go off of is what you've seen these players do in this point of their career. Everybody knows that it's determined once you get into the league. But based off what I've seen all these kids in this class do, he's the guy at that as far as doing that. Period.
I'm not.
And we could
I'm not
we could try to sit here and overthink shit, and that'd be one of the issues. We try to think outside when the shit is staring you in the face.
I'm just
Why do we need to?
I'm just basing it off the best player available. Like, and for me, I'm tying into the identity of the team. Like, if you want me to fully reinvest in this front office, they're somehow still in charge. You need at least a guy that can reinforce the identity of what the Brooklyn Nets are going to try to be again. Like, you need that. Like, you're not going anywhere as a team unless you have an identity where everybody knows what they have to do. What Acuff has shown is he knows how to organize people and get them on the same game plan. I feel like that's what you need right now. If you don't have that, you're not building anything. Like MPJ Claxton, like that's the lowest as low as you can go with coordinators on your team. You need a guy that actually knows how to not buckle under pressure but elevate a team, and that's what we need right now. And that's how we're going to get an identity back with this team. Like, if you don't have the identity of this team, don't matter what you do, who you add, what stars you want to get for all the nostalgia and whatnot. You need guys that know how to lead this team and elevate this team. That's where I'm basing it off of between Acuff and Michael Brown. Can Michael Brown do that? Potentially, yes. Can Acuff do that? Potentially, yes. That's who you have to kind of go after at this point. It cannot just be because he drafted the previous year.
The thing about best pick available, bro, I think it's a case to case basis, bro. Like a lot of we all agreed from 1 through 4, bro. We'll take any one of the dudes 1 through 4. We all agree, but before the draft lottery took place. So the best player available thing is more of a case to case basis based on how rosters are constructed. Obviously, everybody's going to just automatically say, "Yo, our roster is trash," just because of the way of the makeup of it. One switch here, one switch there, bro, and then a player added to it that's just making everything connect. I see us going in the same direction as the 2025 Pacers. I really, really do. And that team was not bad at all, bro. That team made the finals and they was a game away from winning it all. So realistically, bro, like if we really want to unlock the Danny Wolfs, the Yegors, the Nolan Trayors, the Drake Powells, if we really want to unlock those players, bro, like I'm not 100,000% sure that Darius Acuff is the answer. Mikael Brown suits all of their needs to me. He just does.
But how? What did you see? What did you hold on real quick? What did you see from Mikael Brown Jr. this year in college that showed you that he suits?
What I've seen from Mikael Brown Jr. is extending plays, bro, in terms of not over dribbling the ball. Like he's moving the ball fast. Everything is all right, yo. 1 to 2 over the screen, and I get to my shot on my pass. Everything is move. Everything is move, constant movement. Everything. That's what everything is. Darius Acuff, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the shit that he was doing, bro, was contested shot making, which was good, and which we all congratulate him for, bro. He led to 20-something points a game and 6 or something assists. I understand it. But in terms of making the other players better and making sure that the connection runs, in terms of the players that we already have, I think that Mikael Brown is the best fit.
I don't think he was watching Acuff at Arkansas.
I don't think so either. That's what I'm saying. You did not describe Darius Acuff at all. You did not describe him at all.
You're right. I didn't. I described Mikael.
Listen,
everybody ate on that Arkansas. Trayvon Brazile, for the most part, on Arkansas, who is their big, because they barely had bigs. Trayvon Brazile 8. Malik Thomas 8. What I saw from Arkansas on that roster, even with Acuff doing what he was doing, everybody was moving. It was constant cuts. If Trayvon was cutting, the most athletic nigga on the roster, he found him for the lob. If Malik Thomas was open in the corner, he found him for the open shot. They ate off that. He was their offense, true, but everybody ate off of what Acuff was doing, even in the half court.
Hold on. Wait, LM.
Like,
if you said
that's how he
how come y'all just said I didn't describe Acuff if you said everything that I just said?
I think you talking about Mikael.
Listen, I know Leaf likes
I was describing Mikael because that's who I was paying attention to.
Listen, Leaf, I know you like the prototype that Mikael Brown is, but in these first 2 years, he's got to show he's closer to all-star level, all-NBA to warrant passing on a guy like Acuff. Like, if Mikael Brown just is a connector, another cog machine, that's really not a great justification. Maybe he's a solid.
I didn't see enough from that kid to say we take him over Acuff. I didn't see enough from Mikael Brown Jr. Now, I know there are fans that like him. I did not see enough from this kid at Louisville, especially in the big-time moments, to say that I want him to lead my team into the next decade. Because that's what this is about. Who do I want to lead my team into the next decade? I saw from Darius Acuff as far as leadership, as far as shot making, as far as shot creation, as far as all those things. Will to win, all those things. The only team that and by the way, he cooked that team, but the only team that really gave that Arkansas problems because they were so talented was Arizona. I saw him, and he gave Arizona damn near 30 on good efficiency with all that talent on that Arizona team. So
that's all well and good, but they not playing Arizona no more.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. The one lady that watched this show, Lana Aries, is in the chat. I just want to say hello. How you doing? Excuse me. And Easy did big up Big Priest. He said he was right about Dylan Harper. So I'm not gonna lie. I'll be siding with Big Priest because he was right about Dylan Harper. Just like sometimes I'll be siding with Leaf because he was right about the Chicago in the pick. Listen, when I don't only hear the truth from me, I hear it from the fans too. You know what I'm saying? But if Big Priest is saying he'll go with Darius Acuff Jr. over Mikael Brown Jr. I'm listening. That's all I'm saying.
To what Priest is saying, you got to take this very seriously because this is potentially one of your most last valuable picks you could have. Because remember, the NBA with all this stuff they did with trying to attack the tanking stuff, they made it even worse than what it is. Now, if you're a bottom 3 team, you're literally screwed. You have no shot of getting a top 5 pick and you can't repeat anymore, which that's probably the best rule I like is that these teams that get top picks can't repeat consecutive years. But for the Brooklyn Nets, this is your last chance to really make it matter, do this organically, because given what the front office has done badly, you now have to go back into the market eventually, get these type of players we've been talking about tonight on Breezy's show, and that can maybe elevate your team, make your team a fun, competitive playoff team, playing team, whatever have you. But this guy you draft has to be somebody you can invest in for the next 5 to 10 plus years. And up to this point in 10 years, we've never had that player to invest in. So if a kid like Acuff, who takes it very seriously offensively and what does as a playmaker, you have to be at least intrigued by that, even if there are some weaknesses that this GM would have to address with the other roster components. But that's what you do when you invest in young, skilled talent. For the Nets, we have to make this count, or else we may never get a shot at this for who knows how long. So what
Big homie, I don't agree with that 3 shit. Like, I feel like, for me, Mikael is the person that's going to shoot the most threes out of him in Acuff. But we just saw what the fuck happens when a team that tries to shoot so many threes. We just saw what happened to them niggas. So realistically, I'm saying it's Mikael. Yeah.
No.
I'm just saying.
You're talking about San Antonio?
Yeah. I just think realistically, as a team, like the thing what I like about Acuff is I feel like he has balance. Like if you're going to, I'm not saying shooting threes is a bad thing. It's the NBA now. It is what it is. But I do like the fact that he doesn't hunt them. Like he gets to the lane, he gets to the rim, he puts pressure on the rim, he gets to the mid range. He doesn't necessarily hunt the 3, and I feel like that's the problem. If you're gonna hunt threes, makes your team get back. You can't play defense. It just doesn't. For me, it's just I don't necessarily like the 3-point hunting unless you're Steph. But me personally, I don't like the 3-point hunt. That's the only thing for Mikael game that I feel like, yes, he can get to the midi. I'm not saying that he can't. He shoots them. But I do think sometimes he can get 2-3-point dependent. And I think for me, that's where the floors lie. As to where Acuff, he gonna shoot 7 threes, but it's gonna be on good efficiency. It's gonna be on 3 for 5, 3 for 4. Like he's gonna do it on good efficiency as opposed to when they both played horrible when they faced each other. I ain't gonna hold you. But Mikael shot 3 for 14 from the 3-point range, 3-point line. Yeah. And for me, it's just like, yeah, I get it. That's his game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting that on him. You know what I'm saying? They both had bad games. Shot 7 for 19.
About that
but for me,
shit, bro,
I don't think that's
how do you not hold on, bro? How do you not care about efficiency? When the MVP of the league,
I care about when you doing everything possible to win. That's what I care about.
It's one of the most efficient players.
You gotta care about
MVP.
I don't care about efficiency because some of our favorite players, bro, that we came up watching wasn't efficient.
Steph Curry, Kobe, like those people were not efficient.
Kobe was not efficient.
That's y'all favorite players going. I grew up watching Mike and Hakeem and Duncan and those
40 damn shots. He wasn't efficient.
He wasn't efficient.
Jordan was highly efficient. You're crazy. You're crazy.
He wasn't.
Okay.
He wasn't efficient.
When they was winning,
I don't think he was efficient from the 3, but he was definitely efficient from the mid-range.
We're talking about jump shooters.
But look,
you really, what you're doing right now is you're really showing your lack of basketball knowledge. If you say Michael Jeffrey Jordan was an inefficient player, his efficiency came from the mid range and the rim. His efficiency came from the mid-range and at the rim.
It came in
the paint. How are you saying no, he didn't? He's one of the most efficient mid-range shooters of all time. What are you saying? No, he didn't.
That's KD. That's dunking them
up there.
Leave. What are you?
He dang shot 50% from the field every damn.
You're like arguing just to argue. You're just arguing just to argue.
Leaf, like, come on, bro.
The nigga was scoring
As a
55.
rookie,
The nigga was
as a
scoring
rookie,
55 in the
as
first.
a hold on. As a rookie, Michael Jordan shot 51% from the field as a rookie, right?
In the paint,
As a rookie,
at the basket, dunks, layups. That's efficient. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Anything outside the paint, if he was shooting jump shots, that's what you wanted him to shoot. Because 9 times out of 10, it was contested.
that's cap. That's cap.
That's not cap.
Big. Like when he shot.
So you trying to tell me? Hold on. You
on.
trying to tell me the defense dictated what Jordan did?
What I'm trying to tell you is that where he was his most efficient was in the paint.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's not necessarily
That's
true.
true.
I watched that man. Whole career. He was efficient from the mid range. He was the most efficient mid range shooter up until you talked about Kevin Durant and them. I don't know what you're talking about,
Bruh.
Do we see what the nigga was doing?
More efficient. And what I'm trying to tell you is,
yes, everybody is more efficient dunking the ball. However, how come? Well, I guess you know more than everybody else because it clearly says Michael Jordan shot roughly 45 to 50% from the mid range throughout his whole career. But that's not efficient.
What did he shoot in the paint? What did he shoot in the paint? Because you ignored that shit.
Yes, everybody is more efficient dunking the basketball. You're right. But you're saying he was not efficient on jump shots.
Nigga,
I'm addressing that.
Just getting to the basket. Dunking on niggas. We're talking about Jordan.
Leaf, if that's the case, Giannis is up there with one of the most efficient niggas because he run into the basket.
I'm talking about little itty bitty niggas, bro, shooting contested shots. We just got rid of one. Y'all remember him?
He's way more
Jordan was
efficient than
not
Cam
always shooting
Thomas.
contested shots though. He was pretty good at creating separation and getting to
and you haven't watched A-Cup because he wasn't shooting a lot of contested shots. Darius A-Cup was taking highly efficient shots. He was not forcing the ball.
That nigga highlight package, bro, is contested shots.
Yeah. And go. Darius A-Cup took the most amount of contested shots in NCAA.
Thank you.
Isn't the same nigga that won MVP doing the same shit? Is it the nigga that just won MVP on elite efficiency doing the same exact shit?
Yeah, and hang on. And guess what? And guess
you're
what?
absolutely right.
And the guy that just won the
I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time paying attention to people that told me Jordan was not efficient shooting mid-range shots. People are telling me. People are telling me.
Don't even pay attention.
People are telling me. People are telling me that Michael Jeffrey Jordan only was efficient at the rim.
I'm telling you, that was more.
What kind of fugazi? Hey yo, that's fugazi as shit, Lee. That's fugazi as shit.
Nigga. First off, I said he was more efficient at the rim.
But before that, you said he wasn't efficient shooting jump shots. You said he was only efficient at the rim. Did you not say that?
Hold up. If you think 45% from the mid range is efficient,
45 to 50 for his entire career. 45 to 50.
45% from the mid range in today's game is efficient. That's on you. That's fine. That's whatever you think. Easy. Shut the fuck up. Goddamn.
I think for all the niggas y'all talking about, like even Steph at a point was efficient. Jordan was efficient. Like even for all of the players that we grew up watching, like for Kobe be inefficient, cool. But for the players that are efficient, the players that we are seeing in this league, yeah, they have proved to be winning players. I'm not saying necessarily that you get off Mikal just because he's inefficient. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is usually nowadays, I think in basketball, you are going to try to get to the most efficient shot. If A-Cup is making these shits contested and being efficient, then in the spacing that the NBA has now, I can't even imagine what that nigga
It's
gonna
much
do
harder.
in the
It's
space
much
and
harder to score, and that's one thing people ain't paying attention to. With the way the rules in the NBA is, it's much harder to score in college because of all the different coverages that you see, the zone coverages, the 1-for-1s, the when you're going against a Danny Hurley, when you're going against a Rudd, when you're going against all these Hall of Fame coaches, it's much harder to score and get space because of how condensed it is and how it's harder to create space. So when you get to the league, you're seeing and you're getting all this space. That's why a lot of these kids like flagging them, saying how easy it was to transition for them. When you got that skill, if you're trash, it ain't gonna be an easy transition. If you can't score, if you're not an offensive player, it ain't gonna be an easy transition. You just don't have it in you.
If that's the case,
one of the things where everybody talks about defense, one of the things that helps your defense is making the other team take the ball out the net and have to run through the half court, as opposed to people getting long rebounds on missed threes and getting out in transition, which we were trashing. We had one of the worst transition rates in the entire league because we couldn't score. Everybody talk about defense. They don't understand how good offense helps your defense. Period.
That's a fact.
But you don't have a good defender on your team, though.
That's the point. So who cares? So
Angle, but that's another point. You just completely forgetting about
that. I'm not forgetting about that because that's not absolutely true. Because Zaire Williams is a good defender. Dwight Powell is a good defender. We have players who can defend. However, when we can't score, nobody can defend when everybody getting fast breaks. I guarantee you, I ain't looked this up. So I don't know for certain. But I guarantee you, we were bottom 5 in transition points. I guarantee you that. You think we're getting beat by 50 just because people scoring in the half court? No. We're getting beat by that much because people are getting out of transition and we're giving up probably over 30 points a game in the transition game.
That's a fact.
Y'all also have one of the worst rim defenses in the league too. It's also
that's a fact too.
Open conga lane.
You knew, but all that goes hand in hand though.
It does.
That goes hand in hand. You know why people scoring so easy at the rim and getting so many points in the paint when you're running out in transition, getting layups and dunks.
Mm-hmm. But you also don't have a center, so that also takes back to what we're saying.
Man, all that center stuff it goes into us not having good offense. All that stuff goes into us because Nick Claxton, if he was on the team, and I don't even care if he's on the team, right? I'm about tired of arguing about him. And I mean, at this point, I'm done. But when we had a competent offense, he was one of the top defensive big men in the league, and that's a fact. And nobody can tell me nothing different. The numbers say it. He was one of the. When we had a competent offense, he was a plus defender in the NBA.
Right.
But
so now
when we can't score, when we can't
competent offense again for him to go back to that.
Let me enlighten y'all on something. I don't give a damn. We got Kawhi Leonard, Scottie Pippen in his prime. If we can't score the fucking ball, we gonna suck on defense. Period.
Okay.
Hold on. No. Time out.
That's a fact.
Hold on. I want to address that because I feel like it does zap the team of energy and motivation when they play good defense for 24 seconds and then they can't capitalize by scoring the ball. So yes, I agree with that.
Okay, so hang on, and with that statement, then you can decide the roster currently today. You draft the A cup. That's all we know right now. You give me a starting 5 of your roster today. You know, just the same roster right now, but you just added A cup. So you give me a starting 5 right now.
To me, we can't answer that because realistically, we still got the off season. Unless people is going in free agency and we know what free agents we getting, to me the point is move. Right now the Nets need to take this shit one step at a time.
But
get your guys.
That's the problem. Y'all trying to have us skip steps. All we can focus on right now is the NBA draft. When we get to free agency, we'll see how the team looks after that. All we can focus on at this moment is the NBA draft. We do not know what who's going to be available, what the cap situation is going to be, who's going to be moved, who's going to ask to be moved. We do not know any of that shit.
That's the
So
point.
all we can do right now is focus on the NBA draft. And right now in the NBA draft, we can get a guy that can immensely improve us offensively. And I know not Leaf, but LM likes McHale more. And I don't got a problem with that. But what I'm talking about for us, what I see, what I watched last year, the shit that I saw last year, I want there is a cup based on the bullshit that I had to watch last year on the offensive end. It was disgusting.
But also,
Because of how much of a fan I am, I suffered through it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to not suffer anymore.
Me neither.
So, but my thing is, you also were a bad team because you also had like one of the youngest rosters on the league, bro. You had one of the youngest rosters in the league.
I understand that.
Then the fact of the matter is, and the problem with that is, despite being the youngest rosters in the league, we're one of the trashiest offenses in the league. You need, and that comes. We just watched one of the youngest rosters in the league.
You don't have a
go
unicorn,
toe-to-toe.
buddy. You don't have a unicorn.
My point. Thank you. You made my point.
That don't even matter. That don't even matter. Because guess what? Guess what? When Wemby didn't play during this season, they were still one of the better offenses in the league. So that's irrelevant.
It doesn't matter
because of the team that they put together.
Mm-hmm.
OKC being one of the youngest teams in the league still had a good offense. Doesn't
and
matter.
they didn't have AJ Mitchell and J Dub for the majority of the season.
Right.
But because they had a guy who can get his shot against anybody, they were still able to play well offensively.
So hold on.
And I think A-Cup might be a better playmaker than Shea.
Oh no.
Talk that shit.
No.
Huh?
No.
I don't think Shea is a great playmaker. That's my whole point. I think Shea is a great offensive player, great scorer. I don't think he's a great playmaker. I don't think he's a true point guard. I think Shea is a 2.
Oh man.
To be fair, people have said that.
Hold on, y'all. I just kind of segue in the conversation. You know, we've been talking a lot of Brooklyn Nets basketball. This is Wemby basically saying like he gotta wait 100 more games before he get back to the finals. So I wanted to ask y'all, do you think that the Spurs got it like that, where they just getting back to the finals next season and they just gonna run it back?
I feel like if San Antonio make the right moves, I think based off of what they have, if they start Dillon, right? And I don't know if you saw that, because I was thinking about you when they said it, Breeze. So they asked Devin Vassell, and he said that Dillon was frustrated this season because of the way he was used, because of his role on the team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought that would be some candy for you.
Yeah,
because I know you've been.
Yeah, I had spoke to that because ultimately everybody, not just me, at first I think I was one of the first ones to mention it, but everyone see that he outplaying Fox, and at the end of the day, he's the second pick. You know, he's not sticking out his chest wild crazy. He like, yo, you know, y'all supposed to prioritize me. I'm the second pick, even though y'all just gave him the contract and all of that. That's cool, but the way his minutes was probably, I don't know, shy of 20 minutes or just making 20 minutes, you know, even though he averaged 20 something points, bro, he averaged like 30 something minutes, and I think that's what he wants. He don't want to be on no team as the second pick, Big Priest, only getting 20, 25 minutes max. He want 30 plus minutes a game. He want a bigger role. And he don't
I think he wants to win too.
Yeah, he don't want Fox to be in his way though. He don't feel
I think he wants to win too. So I think he believes that if he got the minutes that he felt like he should have got, I think he believes that they would have won. But I think that's a big thing for him too.
I think for San Antonio, I don't know, like to Priest's point, if they start doing Harper, yes, like I feel like they'll be an elite team, but I don't think a finals promise is guaranteed. Like you still got
Most is
OKC there.
guaranteed because we don't know about injuries or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I don't think a final like we'll be back here next year is guaranteed. Like they said the same shit about OKC in 2012.
Same thing about
And
Orlando with Shaq and them.
yeah,
Same thing
yeah, they
about
said the same shit.
OKC. Probably OKC with Kevin Durant and them. Like it happens all the
Yeah,
time.
like they said the
You
same
know why
thing,
that
and look what
happened with
happened.
Shaq and them? Because 23 came back, the inefficient mid-range shooter. He came back, and
True,
then there was nobody
but
else was getting back there.
I think
Hey,
for
I didn't
San
say
Antonio,
that was Lee that said. I said Kobe and Steph.
but
I
I think
just,
for San Antonio, I
Don't
think
say
what they need to do
don't say
is
that
they
when
need
I'm
to.
here.
I
I
got to
think what
mess
they
with
need to
Leeds, man.
do.
That's my man, 100 grand in them, man.
I think what they need to
Man,
do
Leeds
though
be getting
is,
fired up, man.
if anything,
Yeah.
I feel like San Antonio should have tried to. I don't know because realistically they could have won this series, but I think they were best off trying to win this series because realistically next year you got I feel like a better West coming. You got now that you got Cooper Flag coming uh with under Masai Ujiri who's gonna definitely try to improve that roster. You got Darren Peterson on his way to Utah. You got,
What?
Memphis
No,
with
hang on.
Boozer.
He actually he
Leeds
actually
good.
no. Hang on.
Yeah,
Darren
it looks good.
Peterson
Yeah.
actually canceled. He said he canceled this thing with Utah. He only worked out with Washington. He said he's not working out with another team. And now that
Oh,
Utah is coming out, like they're not wanting to pay Walker Kessler, so they might
oh
be
yeah,
moving.
yeah, yeah,
Hang
yeah,
on,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
they might be moving Triple J to the 5 and drafted Boozer and put him at the 4.
See, but that's the thing.
True,
That's
that
why
might be the way.
Utah got a problem because at the end of the day, I never seen Triple J show interest in rebounding, which is terrible because he's like 6'10". You know what I'm saying?
But if you get a rebounder like Boozer, who could also spread whenever Triple J can spread the defense, you have somebody out there that can get rebounds. You have Lloyd Marketing, who is 7 foot as a wing that grabs rebounds. Ace Bailey isn't a shy rebounder. Like that's the thing. If you're a big man, which is Triple J, struggles at rebounding, you can have pieces that help out with that.
I think it depends on what Washington does too, though. Like if Washington choose Darren Peterson,
I don't think
one,
I think
which
I think it's
I think it's AJ. But if they do, I mean, they could pull a Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Jabari Smith Jr. was supposed to go one. They went with Paulo. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, they may pull a whoop-de-doo and be like, you know what? We had John Wall, we had Gilbert Arenas. Let's try to repeat the trend with Darren Peterson. Now, as terms of what that do for Trae Young, if they do go Darren Peterson, I don't know. Like, I don't. If you get Darren Peterson for Washington, do you re-sign Trae Young? Do you let him slide in free agency? I
I
don't know
think,
how that works.
That
I
don't make
think,
no sense, bro. That
to
don't make
me, I don't know what Washington gonna do because I heard they gonna shop, doggone AD. They gonna do this. They gonna do. It makes no sense. Like I said, I don't know how they even freaking got that pick. It's the weirdest shit to me.
right. I was like, how could y'all like? And again, the reason why I feel like Trae Young is a good fit there in this content where he say he never been this slept on, but it's because of what he did for the Hawks franchise. Like when he got drafted, everybody
He
just
took them to the conference finals.
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say. Big Priest, like I was surprised that he was that good to get to the conference finals that early in his career. And the reason why is because he was quote unquote supposed to be the lesser player when he was contrasted to Luka Doncic. And everybody figured that Luka would have more success than the Trae Young. And just from then till now, it's close. You know what I'm saying? It's really close. So I
Luka
don't
got
doubt
a little bit further.
yeah, he
But
did, but it's still close. It's close.
I
You know,
mean,
I
nobody
would say
expected
so.
Trey Young, and that also goes to he's smaller than Aker, and he actually is a terrible defender.
Yeah,
But
but they also had pieces that fit. John Collins was on there. They had a bunch of young athletic.
most of what helped that team was Trey Young's creation
Yeah,
and gravity.
but it still goes back to what I said. They also had a really good. They still not really good. They're still a pretty solid defense
I
because of
even
the
think
pieces
when
they put
Dame was
around.
on Port, I even think when Dame was on Portland, they built a decent team. I just think they ran into freaking Golden State for all those years. That's why they really couldn't get over the hump. But I feel like they for what it's worth,
we
the teams
focus
that
so
tried to
much
build
on the
around
size
the
of
small
players
guards.
and because let's just think about and I'm not saying he's him, but just think about if Philly don't take Allen Iverson. Like, I mean, we
Real shit,
Okay.
bro.
like
Listen,
because he's a 6 foot guard. I mean,
no, you're
Allen
right.
Iverson was the best offensive player, and the only reason that A Cup is not the best offensive player in this draft is because AJ and them is in it.
Right,
Outside of that, he would be that guy.
right. So
So
you're saying he in the top 3 with AJ DeBoschta, Peterson, and himself, Darius Acuff Jr. That's a tough company. That's tough company, bro.
I'm not the biggest. I have Mo for DP. I'm not the biggest DP fan.
I
Yo,
do too.
but
I
the
do
point
too.
is,
The only player offensively that I got better than him is freaking AJ DeBoschta.
Yeah.
And
right,
that's
but Keith,
Yeah.
I get that. I get the whole thing with the knock on the small guard, but they've been proving people wrong. I mean, AI proved people wrong. Yo, you know who else didn't get the look, even though he did big things? Isaiah Thomas, not the Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, but he was one too. I heard he was like 5'9". But I'm talking about Isaiah Thomas that played for the Celtics,
Yeah.
bro. It just went bad for him
They
because
did him dirty.
right. The Celtics didn't do right by dude. They did him dirty, like you said, bro. They could have did that whole scenario could have been different. You know what I'm saying? And
Mind you, wasn't when Isaiah on that team, they was like a second seed,
yeah,
second,
bro.
third seed.
Yeah,
but
and they did what
it's
they did
it's
for
the
Kyrie
Celtics, bro.
Irving.
It's the Celtics, man. They flip people like it's nothing.
I'm not saying you're wrong in that, but for a 5'9" dude to be doing that and leading his team to the top of the Eastern Conference at the time, that shit was very impressive. And going up against John Wall, at the time, leading that team to win against rest in peace to his sister, but for him to do what he was doing, that was very impressive, especially from the small guard. For him to lead that team to what they did. Like, I just think to Breezy's point, sometimes it do be the heart over the height. Like for me, watching Brunson run down on Wimby, look at that 7'4" nigga and be like, I don't give a fuck that you 7'4", and go and drop to the paint, challenge the paint with an 8-foot wingspan. And get layups and angles and all types of shit.
I ain't really see him get no layups on Wemby though. I ain't gonna hold you.
In that last game he did.
Yeah,
I seen
but
that. He got to the paint with a little stop and go.
Even in game 4 when he pulled up and Wemby was for the 3.
I saw him make threes and middies. Yeah. But I think that's because Wemby was trying to cover more space and kind of got the distance wrong. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I feel like we gotta fix our offense more than anything. I think.
Yo, and I'm gonna agree with that. And again, like the fact that Big Priest was right about Dylan Harper, I'm gonna go with Darius Acuff Jr. And I like Mikal Brown Jr. I wouldn't be mad if we picked him. I just wanted to also read this comment right here, because this could be a whole show. You know what I'm saying? 718 the bridge -01 said Portland took Dame Lillard, but I would pick at 6. We can't mess it up this time, which assures my net fan soul. Do not trade up, don't trade down, don't do shit. Just use this 6th pick. It's the best pick the Nets ever had. Just get the player that we supposed to get at 6.
Haven't y'all had a number 1 pick before? You said
we had Kenyon Martin and then we had Derrick Coleman.
That's what I'm saying. So like, it's not the best pick you ever. I thought you mean the best pick in recent.
The Brooklyn Nets.
In Brooklyn Nets history,
yeah.
No, the best pick we had was Derek Favors. Yeah, it was not. No, that was.
I thought Boogie was better, but
No, I'm just saying to see the actual pick number. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that's New Jersey. Realistically, that's New Jersey history.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Brooklyn Nets history. Yeah, this is the best pick that we've.
That was Derek Favors.
That was
That
Brooklyn.
still was Derek Favors. Yeah.
Okay, that had to be early.
That was New
Yeah,
Jersey.
that was
though,
right.
right?
That was right after they moved.
Yeah.
Nah, Derek Favors was 2010. Yeah, that was
That still was
John Wall.
that still was Brooklyn though. They were building the Barclays. They just hadn't. That was a Brooklyn pick.
I mean, technically,
It said
I get what you mean,
New
but
Jersey Nets.
They had already.
it was still the New Jersey Nets.
It said in New Jersey 2010.
No, what I'm saying is it still was Brooklyn. They had already confirmed the move. That's just like with Kevin Durant and OKC. That was OKC, even though he got picked by the Supersonics. That was an OKC pick.
I don't know. I consider that a supersonic pick because that's where he started out. That's where people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, they had already decided to go to. They had already had the stuff being built in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So they were not. They were. So he played there for like one season.
Yeah, I know that, but like whenever you look back in the history,
and the crazy thing about Favors is that doggone, he didn't even really play for us. They traded that shit as soon as they moved for Darren Williams.
Yeah.
Right before they moved.
Right. Because I was just looking at his stats and it was showing that he got traded in the next season. Bro, I will be heated if we traded in the next season after we did all of this to get this pick. Like, and again, the good players that happened to Shea too. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he got traded in the second season too. So it's something that could happen technically, but I don't want to see that happen. I want to see whoever we draft this next season. I mean, this next draft next week, stay the whole 4 years. Like,
but it's very rare. It's very rare for you to trade people on their rookie deal because it's very cheap.
And that's because we were trying to get Carmelo, and we ended up getting Darren Williams because the Knicks swooped in and took Carmelo. That's why we ended up getting Derek Favors. Not Derek Favors, but Darren Williams, because he was the next best player.
If we had one of them John Wall sweepstakes, I feel like that shit would have been crazy. Because realistically, I think having John Wall heralding the move to Brooklyn, I feel like that shit would have been pretty nice, especially at that time. Like John Wall was the shit. Like he had his own song, own dance. Like
I wasn't big on John Wall, but that goes into my A-Cup argument too, because he's another Calipari guard. We have a much better sample size of Calipari guards being good elite NBA players than any of these other guys. It's a huge sample size.
Booker, SGA, Rose.
The
list goes on.
Booker isn't really no small guard. Booker's like what? 6?
No, I'm talking about a guard that played for. I ain't say small guards. I said guards that played for John Calipari.
And Rose too.
It's just
the
Kentucky guy that's at Arkansas right now. Yeah. Now he's really good at developing guards, but
he don't take guards unless they elite, because it ain't just them. It's Tyrese Maxey. It's Shea. All them dudes are his players.
Yeah.
I do think because we gotta remember too, Rose was 6'2", 6'3". John Wall was 6'2", 6'3". Realistically, the only thing I feel they have on A-Cup was they was athletic as shit.
Yeah,
like they was athletic guards that can get up the
floor. But they weren't. But there's a difference too.
They didn't have the scoring.
There you go, because they are not as seasoned as players as him though. Even though they're athletic and all this and that, they are not as seasoned
but also
as him, and they don't have the skill set that he has.
Back then and now, is also two different. Like we're talking about like the 2010s. Like I think Boogie was one of the best centers. He was like 6'10". Like even the best centers were 6'10". Now you have to have a 7-footer on your team now. Like it's.
I don't think the 7-footer got to be the best player though.
No, I'm not talking about the best player. I'm talking about on your team today. Like I'm talking about majority of people on their roster, they have a 7-footer somewhere. Like it's no longer a smaller ball era, bro. That's why I said when they were coming up, we're talking about with the in the 2010s, like they had the benefit of going against smaller players. They wanted to use smaller
But
ball.
I think that
I think the small guards now is trying to prove that theory wrong.
But
I
that,
think the
that
small
I think
guard
they
thing.
are.
I think the small guard thing
I
has
think
gotten
Steph. I think
overblown.
Steph proved it. I think
You're
Steph
happening.
proved it wrong.
Okay.
I think
But it's not.
Maxey is trying to prove it wrong.
I don't
I
really
think Brunson
consider Steph
already
a
proved
small
it.
guard. I don't
Nah,
really
Steph is
consider
a
Steph
small
a
guard.
small guard. I don't consider
He's
him
for
small
sure a
guard.
small guard.
Why not? Well, he like 6'4".
6'2",
He's 6'3",
6'3".
6'4".
He's
I think
6'3".
he's
To me, he's
6'4" with
6'2".
shorts. I think he's 6'4" with shoes on.
Yeah,
I don't really.
Nah, he's not. He's not taller than Ant. He's not taller than Ant.
Hang on. He's 6'3" without shoes, 6'4" with shoes.
Ant is taller than him, man. Ant is 6'4". Like they stood next to each other.
Ant
Steph
is
isn't taller than
6'4"
Ant.
without shoes though. Ant is 6'5" with shoes.
No, Ant's not. Ant's 6'3" without shoes.
Nah. Hang on. But also, I really don't care what they say because guess what? They say Kevin Durant's smaller than 7 foot. He's taller than a bunch of these 7-footers.
I feel like that's. I don't know. I feel like that's in terms of the guards. Like realistically, they said Ant was 6'6" coming into the league.
Yeah, but they also said Trae Young is 6'1". He ain't no 6'1". He's smaller than that.
I think so. I think Trae is 6 feet. But,
Yeah, but
for sure, I think in shoes, A Cuff is closer to Ant's height than he is to Brunson's height.
Yeah. Hey, but
like
he's much bigger than Brunson.
I'm gonna go, y'all, but I'm gonna let y'all know. Y'all keep y'all phones charged. There's gonna be a bunch of moves in about the next couple of days. So I'm gonna let y'all know.
I already know.
Y'all have a good one, bro.
All right.
peace out.
Yeah, I'm finna close out too in a minute, man. This was a dope show, man. Listen. Part of the show be dope for me because I'll be, listening to y'all, learning from y'all. Y'all definitely be talking hoops. I seen John get some compliments. I seen Big Priest get compliments. Brooklyn LM, they already know Brooklyn LM. He a regular on the panel. Shout out to all the people that joined the panel tonight, and I'm saying all y'all was dope. And ultimately, what I will say is that we got accomplished. I would say I came in this saying that I wanted Mikal Brown Jr. first, and I'm leaving this saying I want Darius Acuff Jr. first. And I do want Mikal Brown Jr., but not first. I want Darius Acuff Jr. First. And the chat helped me with that point about you can't like try to pass the ball all of the time. Like you want to find your teammates, yeah, but if you want to win, you got to be the bucket sometimes. Sometimes you got to be the one that's going to put the ball in the bucket. You can't rely on the game because you made a nice pass at the end and the player missed it. No, you shoot the ball. You want to lead this team, you shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying?
He is fearless. That kid is fearless. And that's one of the things I like about him. Because typically I say crazy shit like we could go ahead and take my UConn Husky, but I gotta keep it real, man. We got Acuff is that guy, man. Period.
Yeah, we rocking, man. Shout out to Big Priest. Like I said, it's the off season. Any trade happen, hit me in the inbox or hit me in the chat. Let me know. I'll pull up. We're gonna do some more content. We're gonna be back really soon. As y'all already know, Nets fans is the best fans. Shout to Harlem. I see you in the chat. Shout to Easy Money Mike. Shout to Big Priest for joining the panel. Shout to everybody that was on the panel. Shout to Big Homie Stay Solid, 718 The Bridge, all the subscribers, all the members. Give me some time, man. I gotta make some more people moderators. Y'all was spelled like 718 The Bridge and more. Shout out to all y'all, man. We're gonna be back with more content really soon. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.